Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nightsky Sanctum, Season 2, Episode 4. We are back. Hermes is back with Morningstar. Uh, a quick note before we get started. You might notice that there are new um, channel points in your chat options. Some new channel point rewards. Those are not hooked up yet, so please do not waste your precious essence on them. The highlighted message still works, but everything else is currently being worked on. At the end of the session, I will play around with them a little bit so you guys can see how they work. But thank you again so much. This is our 10th new follower today, so I want to say thank you all for that. All right, let us go around the room and have everyone introduce themselves and their characters. We'll start with Morningstar.
Hello, my darlings. As I have been asked to introduce myself, I shall do so, even though I'm sure you all know who I am. I am Morningstar, and today I shall be playing the fabulous Elise, our wicked, mind-manipulating Median, who, well, has a million or so different schemes going at any given time, that even her close coven mates don't really know much about.
I have the receipts in private chat messages of what's really going on. All right, let's go to Megan.
Hi, I'm Megan. I play Steph, and they're a shapeshifter, so they're a fish person. They are currently haunted, reckless, and in the upcoming sessions, hopefully thinking with portals.
Nice. How's Ellen?
Well, I'm Zillan. I play Yarrow, who is a really fun Arcanist satyr and currently reckless and unstable, so it's quite fun just running in and doing the first thing that pops into her head. And she has a really fun a familiar named Jean, who's a phoenix, so I think Jean wants to be more noticed. She's lonely. So we'll bring her in more this session. We'll see what happens.
That would be amazing. Have her come in and really power up.
Let's see what we can do with Jean.
All right, Anya.
I'm Anya. I play Hollis. She is your short green goth girlfriend who is haunted literally by the ghost of her dead girlfriend and currently obsessed with getting herself as close to, I guess, a near-death experience or death experience that she can come back from.
Yeah, near death just doesn't cut it anymore. All right. And to sort of recap where we were at the end of the last session, if I remember right, it was Steph and Hollis had both been tasked by the Fae to carry out a important mission for the Red Caps to poison their previous employer, Jack Spiderstripe of Shadow Dawn fame, which the characters have had run-ins with in the past, and they weren't on the absolute best terms with him because he tended to play a little too rough with them. So when it came time to actually do the poisoning, Hollis had an ingenious plan of planting the poison in her footsteps, which Jack was required to stop and drink from, and the poison turned him entirely to stone, despite being a shapeshifter who could usually get out of such things. It was an ingenious poison. Not to They didn't want to leave him completely high and dry, because his domain started to become taken over once his glamours were gone. They decided to bring him all the way back to their island Covenstead off the coast of Manhattan. And upon doing so, they ran across another cruise ship owned by Corpus Templi Solaris and had a fierce pitched battle with them on the high seas, which Corpus turned tail and ran after being whacked with a couple rounds of wild magic by our coven, and they managed to teleport their entire cruise ship to an unknown location, getting them off of the coven's radar for the moment. So
Find them
that's
eventually. I want that cruise ship.
yeah, it was much nicer than the one you guys had already stolen from them. So a little bit of time has passed, and Jack, something I forgot to mention, Jack became entwined in the party's telepathic bond ritual. And so Jack Spiderstripe is now able to telepathically communicate with all of the coven mates. And he has been using that ability to a extreme degree. He's in everyone's thoughts all the time, listening to their most private thoughts and interjecting.
Living in our heads rent free.
Just singing Cotton Eye Joe over and over and over.
He's also living in your dungeon rent free, so it's a little, one of 6 of the others. Yeah, that.
Living seems like a generous term, given that he's a
true.
statue.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I was gonna put him up in the cemetery so he could sit up there and
Right.
be beautiful
Yeah,
I feel like that's a good option.
yeah.
and get pooped on by birds. Lots and lots of seabirds.
So something that you got from him is that he does still seem to be at least partially connected to his lands, despite the fact that his glamours in the southern part of Central Park are down. He is still able to sense a lot of foot traffic in that area. There are a lot of new creatures and people that are coming into that area now and starting to take it over. It has become partially a camp that some of the homeless denizens of lower Manhattan are using for shelter, but the Order has also started to reach down from Belvedere Castle and from the Central Park Zoo area and have begun a ritual to annex southern Central Park from this Fae faction via some kind of Baba-like ritual. So Jack Spiderstripe is willing to give any of that data, any of the things he's feeling. He's able to send those over to Hollis if she wants to try to pick through them and figure out if there's anything going on there that you can gather some information from.
Okay.
And we can get started on that.
I guess my question for him would be, is there no one else from his faction that would be interested in keeping control of that lower Central Park area for the Fae?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like, it can't just be Jack.
Mm-hmm. No, Bumble Woodbud is still there as well, and
Mhm.
he
But
is.
no one would
Jack, the one
respect
guy in the
anyone with a name
project.
like that.
And he is able to disguise himself pretty perfectly as an old tree. So, as far as you know, he is probably still there and probably trying to keep a low profile. Jack tended to be the one that did most of their magic. So, yeah, Bumble's definitely still there. He has no other place to go or hide. But yeah, he's not particularly helpful in this situation.
I must admit I'm curious. A Baba-like ritual to annex land.
Yeah.
I'd be curious if we could replicate something like that.
I feel like that would have to be like some sort of wild magic almost.
It's a lengthy, it's a lengthy use of the Baba domain powers. So it requires a sometimes hours, sometimes weeks long ritual, depending on the level of power of the area that you're trying to overtake. And it could also require multiple uses of cleansing rituals and things like that to, take the domain from whoever had previously had their resonance in it.
Gotcha. So I just had like a crazy idea.
Is it the best
Um,
kind?
so we have all of these bioluminescent weird mushrooms that are growing
You do.
under our Covenstead. And I know that mushrooms in general have, a vast mycelial network situation going on that would or that could very easily take over Central Park and make it very difficult for a Baba to do that kind of ritual, seeing as this seems to be kind of a magical mushroom situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there were definitely some issues. The reason why you guys have this underground mycel network in the background there with you is definitely fallout from some magical events of the past. I think that happened about 9 months ago in game time, somewhere around the middle of season 1. I
Hmm.
don't remember the specifics, but I do remember it was absolutely magical in nature.
So I was thinking maybe if we could just like inoculate Central Park
Hmm.
with these mushroom spores, maybe that could prevent a Baba from completely taking it over.
Yeah, that's very possible. Anything you want to look into? Do you want to look into his data? See what you can find about what's going on there in Central Park?
Yeah, I could I guess use my grimoire senses to try and figure out what kind of ritual this would be and how let's see what other things can I use.
I'm gonna have uh I'm gonna have Jack Spiderstripe go ahead and make his roll first,
Okay.
and we'll see what he knows to begin with.
Okay.
Ooh,
Ugh.
uh, sadly,
Mhm.
very, very little apparently. I think he was contacted. It's possible he was tricked into contacting that area by whoever is
Okay.
present there. And he thinks that he might have accidentally given away some information rather than getting information for you. He doesn't know the extent of what that might be.
Okay.
Brilliant. Somehow, even after being turned into stone, he's still incompetent.
How can you be less confident after being turned to stone? I mean, competent.
Yeah, I thought he was supposed to be pretty powerful, right? Like he's just
Yeah,
not been able to do anything. I mean, we
yes.
tricked him pretty easily.
Jack Spider Stripe, just a Fey himbo.
I should go ahead. I should modify his tags. Pay him though. Shapeshifter extraordinaire.
um, maybe I could go to Central Park and just kind of put my toes in the dirt and try to figure out what's going on domain wise and use my grimoire sense to try to collect some information. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to do that personally or send your familiar?
I figured I would probably just go with my familiar since I can do the familiar writing. I can fly away pretty quickly and easily.
Okay. All
Just do like a quick day trip.
Yeah. So can you describe what that looks like when you use your familiar writing ability?
So, familiar writing basically lets you join physically with your familiar and be inside of their form. So, my familiar is an owl, like a small screech owl. So, I can basically just jump up inside of my owl and he can fly me around and we can kind of just do everything that I can do, but as a tiny owl.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a sneaky shapeshift.
Awesome. So what action do you want to use for your first gather information?
Um, I would probably use a focus to try to figure out what kind of magic is going on and or what kind of rituals, if it is a baba, if it's not a baba. I do have detect magic
Okay.
also that might be able to help so I
Yeah.
could figure out that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
How deep into the territory do you want to go? Just trying to go into the very edge, or do you want to go to like where you turned Jack to stone?
Yeah, I would probably go over to that tree
Okay.
since it was a relatively large tree and it would give me some cover. Um, and then get on the ground in the same kind of area and see what's going on.
Okay. Let's put this as risky
Okay.
because there are so let's say as you're going in, you can see that there are patrols. There
Mm-hmm.
are black uh, SUVs that are driving around the entire perimeter, and you
Okay.
can see people getting in and out of them. These people are very well dressed, suits and ties, and you don't recognize any of them individually, like the order people that you've met before, but you do
Okay.
definitely recognize the type. Um,
Yeah.
but once you fly over as an owl, nobody seems to bat an eye at you, and you're able to get straight into the center and do your make
Okay.
that roll.
Alrighty. I'm gonna spend some willpower to get an extra die for my focus.
Okay.
And is there a special character that I need to use for gather information?
Yeah, G.
Okay. Ooh. Did we do downtime actions last time?
No, because we didn't do a actual undertaking.
Oh, crap. I need willpower.
Ah. Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay. Or
Not too bad.
dice. Yeah. Okay. So, did you bring any inoculate with you, or did you just come alone with you and your familiar?
I I feel like I would have brought it
Okay.
with me and tried to just stick it around the bottom of the tree,
Okay.
like to be happy anyway in the shade and all that good stuff.
Sounds good. Okay. As far as your gather information roll, you get good details and some clarifying and follow-up questions are possible. So, as far as any other witches whose presence have been in the area, you can definitely tell that to the north, the domain of Ababa has been expanding southward.
Okay.
It has not crossed over sort of the halfway point, and it hasn't reached into what had previously been Shadow Dawn's territory yet. But it is stretching out in that direction.
Okay. Um,
Anything else you want to know since you got a good roll?
how quickly is it expanding? Like,
Um, well, I think that's a good time to start a clock. Let's say you have a 12 clock before the
Okay.
ritual completes. And as you are there, inoculating the ground with your mycelial inoculate, you see a trio of helicopters take off from Belvedere Castle, or at least nearby,
Okay.
and head out to the southern waterfront, which your group knows is the I hate to say domain over and over again, but when you have that many witches in this city, you end up with a lot of people with their own domains. But it is the offshore domain of the exiled, which are Manhattan's largest wild witch coven. They are not governed by the order. They're the only group of unbound, unregistered witches that counts as a faction in this city.
Okay. Well, if I've got my mushrooms in the ground and I've got some information, I am gonna get out of here before anything weird happens.
Okay. Let's start a second 12 clock that says helicopter envoy returns.
Okay.
What were we calling the first one?
Uh, order ritual completes. Thank you for the hydration and medication messages in chat. Very helpful.
And do we have any ticks on these wheels so far?
No, not
Neither of
currently.
these clocks. Okay.
They will fill with consequences of your action.
Or lack thereof.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's a secret tool we'll be using later.
Okay. Do you want to gather any other information, or does anyone else want to gather some information about any of the other situations that are ongoing?
Then I suppose we need to figure out what our actual plan is somewhat before we start gathering too much more information. So our primary goal right now is to prevent them from conquering the park. Correct?
It could be. I think we have a few options. We could try to make contact with the exiles.
Or
We
we could
could,
take
yeah,
advantage of the weakened position to assert a bit of dominance over the order.
yeah.
With the magical diadem that Elise has gotten her hands on recently, this could be potentially the perfect time to go in and assert some extremely commanding dominance.
It's always my favorite thing to do. She's feisty.
I mean, I'm willing to go on the offensive.
Yarrow's more
Imagine
willing to go
how
on offense.
shamed the order would be if we walked in there
Mm-hmm.
and ate their lunch while they weren't looking. I suppose I already did that actually.
Yeah.
Once.
You did that
Literally.
in the zoo already.
Yeah, that's another place that's probably left, at least to a degree, unguarded, is the Central Park Zoo. If there's any other anything else that you guys want to take over or take on there.
Let all the creatures loose.
Pandemonium,
Like-
literally.
There's those mushroom or tree guys down there too. That
Oh.
seem to really jive with Hollis.
That's right, there were, yeah. Yeah, those little
Or mushrooms.
yeah, they were mushroom people.
They were
That's
fun
interesting.
guys.
Yeah.
Maybe we can let them loose into the park and they can cultivate the mushrooms.
Maybe.
Ooh, give them the
That could be
spores
fun.
of the mushroom.
We're gonna
So-
hire our own construction crew.
So, it sounds like there's 4 things to do, and there's 4 of you. So, are we gonna split the party fully? Have everybody
That
go do it?
seems
That seems
dangerous.
dangerous.
At least it's a little squishy. At least we need somebody to go with her.
Well, she's squishy when it's inanimate objects hurting her. If it's a person hurting her,
Mm-hmm. They're the squishy ones.
mm,
Yeah, and I think Hollis is not in a great position for doing stuff on her own either, right? Willpower wise. How's everyone else doing?
Oh, I have
I'm completely good.
Okay.
I have
I've
3
only
open
3.
willpower.
Yeah, me too. I have 3 open willpower.
And my essence is okay. I have what, 1, 2, 6
Didn't you
open
try
essence.
it out last time? I
So
thought you tried it out last time.
Oh, did I try one?
You,
if so, you
Am
get
I
a
I believe.
getting the sessions confused?
you
I
get a
believe.
complete heal. Yeah, I kind of feel like that's the case, but I could be wrong.
I remember being all the ice. Oh yes, because all everything was so icy, and I was like, oh, everybody's having fun with all the ice. I'm traumatized out. I can't do anything.
Thank you, Astrid Arcanum. Yeah, right now they are not hooked up yet. We will be playing with them at the end of the session, so we can show off how they work. But yeah, thanks for the 500 essence. No, it's fine. Yep, we're still working on it, so we have a glut of essence amongst our viewers and have had nothing to spend it on for several months now, so we want to make sure to get some rewards out there ASAP. But yeah, they're not quite hooked up yet. All right.
That they're going to be a spam fest when they do get one.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have them at least on a minute cooldown, and I might have to turn the volume on them down because they do make a little bit of noise.
It's gonna be such fun chaos.
Yeah. And I plan on doing a disco all, so it'll do the disco thing to everybody's screens at once, for 2,500 essence. So, all right. So, do we have an idea for an undertaking? Do you know what you want to accomplish first?
Well, I feel like Yara would back up Hollis since we did. If we're refreshed, then Hollis needs a good.
Mhm. Oh yeah, and anyone who has any fey fruits might be a good idea to use those to get back some of your willpower.
Oh, yeah. Let me see. Let me check. I feel like I did.
I have a
Yes.
fair few, but I do have most of my willpower still left. So
Okay.
If I spend a fey fruit, how much willpower can I get back?
You'll make the roll for the
Oh,
willpower.
cool. Well, I'm gonna do that. I have 2 of
It's
them,
the
so I'm
lower
gonna
of
waste
your
1.
insight or resolve.
Okay, they're the same, so
If it keeps going at this route, we're gonna hit our follow goal of 616 wild witches tonight or
crap. What was
tomorrow.
I supposed to put at the end of it? I don't know.
It's okay. Let me send that across so everybody can see your roll.
it's a fortune roll.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting roll.
Yeah. You regain 3 essence from that.
It was willpower roll, not
Oh,
essence
sorry,
roll.
willpower then. Yes, it's the same.
Okay.
Wasted a fruit. No. I'm wondering if we want to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Sorry, Hermes.
She can't hear you. She's back now.
If we think that these mushroom people in the zoo would be beneficial to regaining more territory over potentially the park and the zoo to claim for the Fae, if we do a push to get them to help in those efforts as well as like conquering some territory,
Yeah.
putting some fire under the order. We do that fine. I don't know what everybody else thinks. I've had some too ambitious for how everyone's health is right now.
I love the idea of setting things free, so.
Yeah, it's very
I
much
love
in
the
line.
idea of conquering, but for the Fae.
Yeah, that is very. Those are both very in line with the group, the coven's goals and aims.
It's better to have friends with the Fae than the Order, I would say.
Then we probably shouldn't have turned one of them to stone.
We'll just
That's
show
a
that
very
we're better
Fae
at his
thing to
job than he
do.
is.
It's true.
Maybe we can just use that as an example for a threat. Like, look what we did to this Fae. Fall in line.
If anything,
It's
the
gonna be
other
a-
Fae will be like mad props. Like,
Exactly. We've been trying to take that guy out for months.
Yes. So, do we have an undertaking type that you want to use?
I guess that would be like a rescue one. What's that called?
Yeah, that could work.
Is it rescue or other?
Thanks for the follow, Netallurgy. Very cool name. Good evening, Nuclear Mushroom.
We're about to get some mushrooms.
Yeah, they're doing a very mushroom-centric session tonight, so you're right on time.
It's a shame we didn't have the mushroom pizza for dinner.
I think we Beetlejuiced them into chat. We said mushroom so many times.
So I guess this would be like a stealth,
Okay,
or we
so
could just go full assault and just like
I
mess as
always
many
go
of them
for
up.
full assault.
I
I
mean,
mean, we know that they're going to be lower staffed.
yeah.
And with Yarrow so reckless and also unstable, it'll end up turning into an assault probably.
In fact, very few of us are actually good at being sneaky.
yeah, that's
True.
true.
So why don't we just go in full assault and go right for the door where we know we get to the underground spot? Because we know where that is now.
That's true, you do, yeah. You guys wild magicked your way out of it. Thank you, Seth, for the first use of Shifter Wild Magic that session when you guys got out of there. So yeah, you guys definitely know an easy way in.
And then we just crack as many skulls on the way in.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be too hard.
Okay. So assault plan to rescue these
Mushroom people.
mushroom-like fae from the DRG that are working within the Central Park Zoo. And what is your it's an assault plan. So what's the detail? Point of
The
attack?
detail is, yeah, point of attack. I
And
guess that would
wait,
be that
yep.
garage that we would hit first.
Thank you so much for the bits, Keratin YT. And 2 new followers in the last few seconds. Thank you guys so much. All right.
They
Yes.
smash it
So
back.
let's see. Got 1 die for sheer luck. We've got 1 die because your coven actually outclasses DRG at this point.
Ooh.
We get +1 die because you know your way in. You know sort of the strength of the doors, you know what kind of equipment they're going to be carrying, things like that, at least to some degree. Not particularly protected against this method of attack. And the way you could get a 4th die is if you had an NPC helping you. You guys
No,
can
we have
think
Jack.
through. It's a little outside of his area of expertise.
He doesn't know the zoo.
Yeah, he doesn't know the zoo very well. Ooh. Okay, I have an idea. I'm gonna go ahead and include him. Since he is effectively coming with you at this point. So I forgot to mention the trade-off for him being in their minds is that he is going to be casting a telepathic bond for them every session. So while he is involved in their telepathic bond, he is going to keep their telepathic bond network up. So that's going to be the little the way he gets to interject himself in that situation. All right, so a 4-die.
How many disembodied voices are between us now?
Okay.
Jack's just functioning as a two-way radio at this point.
Oh no, so now everybody's a Kate Bush fan.
Okay. So this was assault, point of attack. You know exactly what you're doing. So how are you going to bust your way through that garage door? What would you like to use? And then I can go ahead and narrate that.
We could go with the route that got us out of the door in the first place.
Shapeshifted Seth?
Silverwing.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. They just did tear through the door.
A power word destroy could get you in pretty quick too.
Oh, for sure. And I can be a literal battering ram with it too and just try to destroy it while running at the door.
Power word? I do power headbutts.
Power.
You have the thing now that makes you go super fast as well.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder if I can just like mix it all. Let's see if I can combo it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Concoction of zip.
So what's the idea for your intro? I'm not going to cost it's not going to cost you anything, whatever you decide to do, since we rolled a 6 for the engagement roll.
They'd be creative.
Oh, I think a power word destroy and then me running just head first into it as a literal, or if I could be just stiff as a board and everybody else can hold me like a battering ram and I can scream and we can just ram me head first.
All right. So yeah, we see Hollis drop out of her owl and do like a goblin superhero landing on the ground. Yarrow comes rushing out of the bushes. Elise is just walking up the walkway like she, absolutely belongs there. And Seth is hops in, shape-shifted into a Silverwing, ready to go in, and the power word destroy goes off and blasts a massive hole in the garage door that leads into this back area that you guys know about from when you entered here before, or when you exited here before. As soon as that garage door is blasted off of its hinges, you see people scrambling around, but you have the element of surprise and the chaos of all this working to your advantage, and the 4 of you are able to slip in through that door into a garage full of their 4-wheelers that the security team uses here. And you can see that big steel set of double doors that have been replaced since the last time you were all here. That leads further down into the DRG's area where they're keeping all these creatures that you came to rescue.
All right, so we got to break another set of doors.
Yep.
Are there any people in the garage? Or just 4-wheelers?
Nope, they're all running around outside. Oh, what time of day or night would you like it to be?
I
Probably
mean,
dark.
if we went in the middle of the day, it would be even more chaotic.
There could be
Still people at the
4
park.
children.
What do you think?
I'm down for the chaos.
Go for the day chaos? All right. Yeah, in that case, yeah.
Not posing for any pictures with kids. I'm not a petting zoo.
Yeah, you see there are families walking around, but you're in a secured area, so you saw them when you were coming in, but they're safe from your antics currently. But yeah, so when you see the security guards running through areas, they're having to weave through families and leap over strollers and stuff to get to where they're going to try to head you off. So yeah, that's slowing them down a bit. So currently there's nobody in the um, garage. Good night,
Okay.
Tentacuola.
Well, I will defer to someone else for busting this door down, because all I have is guns, knives, and mind magic.
We can
I
try
only have
the
teeth
same
now.
method, but we could try the same method, but roll for it and see
Mhm.
what the dice say about it.
I mean, I'm a silver wing right now, so I could just try to bash the door or throw one of the carts at the door. So
Ye-
I'm fine doing that because I would just
Did
be
we
like,
check if
well,
there's just a handle?
is it actually locked?
I feel like that's the first thing we should do, logically, is
Yeah,
check.
your assumption is that this is an extremely restricted area. The garage itself isn't terribly restricted, but access to the tunnels below is definitely restricted. Um, and you can see that there's not a mechanism visible that you can see that shows that it's locked. But yeah, your every instinct tells you that a door this thick is probably locked. There's also a key card mechanism on the right hand side of the door frame.
We should just find someone with a key card.
I do have arcane supremacy.
Yeah,
I'm
you could at least hold the door open and prevent it from being like locked again once you have it open.
Hold the door.
Yeah, oh no.
The Hodor spell.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if Seth, if you wanted to do your Silverwing trick, Dire Form could probably make short work of even this set of extremely sturdy double doors.
Definitely. Let me just check what that is. Yeah. It's one
You're
S
like,
pop.
smash it, smash it.
Smash it. Smashy crashy. It's no fun unless we're breaking stuff. Okay, so I've popped the essence for dire form, so I can perform an incredible feat of physical strength.
Yeah, I
Can I
think.
roll as well for this door?
Yeah, I think it is powerful enough that it's probably going to require a action roll.
Okay.
So what would you prefer to use?
Probably just a brawl, just because I'll be wailing at it.
I think that makes perfect sense. Your wings are incredibly tough and incredibly sharp, so brawl should probably have the best chance of getting you in.
Completely cold resistant.
Oops.
Seraphine, how lovely of you.
Aw.
Gifting all those subscriptions.
Oh,
Wow.
success at a 6.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's worth making friends with that silverware.
Yeah, before we get to Seph's roll, let's take a moment to thank you so much, Seraphine Felstar, for gifting 1, 2, 3,
Oh,
4,
wow.
5 tier 1 subs. That is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
Always the sweetheart.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, everybody, cats in chat.
Cats for Seraphine, everybody.
Yeah.
Cats.
All right, and so yeah, Seth, you can go ahead and describe how you use your form to bust through this set of double doors.
Okay. I can't remember the picture of the silver wing you posted before, but I'm picturing them with kind of wyvern arms. So the wings travel up the arms and there's like
Ooh,
the
I
claw
like that.
ends. And I am picturing them getting their nails in the door, kind of prying outwards from all the rims to kind of like crunch it like a soda can and then like heave themselves against it.
Nice. Yeah. One of the doors crumples completely. The other one is half off its hinges. And yeah, you can see the fluorescent lights in the next room. Thank you, Seraphine. We're sorry that we're gonna miss you for the rest of the episode, but we'll make sure you can get a hold of this episode on YouTube as soon as we finish. We'll put it up there for you to watch later. Good luck with your daughter. See you again soon.
Listen, have a good night.
Right. So, yep, the doors are now effectively open. You can see one staircase that leads to the left that goes up a level, and one staircase straight ahead that goes down a level, which is, if I remember right, where the mushroom creatures were the last time you spotted them.
Makes sense.
Before we go in there, does anyone have any spells that do something about the fluorescent lighting? I'd rather not.
Some minor illusions.
Yarrow just shouting at the ceiling, LEDs!
Power word LEDs.
Just give us some warm lighting.
Alright. Okay. Who is probably leading up this expedition down here?
Hollis and I were the ones initially down in the basement, so I would assume one of us.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The two of you turn a corner, and as you do, you hear the sound of batons flicking out to their maximum length, and this piercing screech as they are powering up, and they are charging electricity. And you see two scientists, both wearing lab coats, and no real armor to speak of, but it looks like they have finally equipped even their scientists with stun batons.
Can
I
I,
think I can.
Question.
yeah. I was gonna say, let's pull a Doctor Who and see if we can convince them to stand down.
I don't think it's going to be all that hard.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But
Not for you.
what were you going to say, my dear?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I know we got in the previous episode we had at the zoo, the Silver Wing was able to come up through the tunnels to get out of this
Mm-hmm.
door that we just came in from, but I don't remember how tight of a squeeze it was for them. And
Yeah.
just because I'm in Silver Wing form right now, I just want to know how tucked in I am.
Yeah, in the main hallways, you were able to get through, or the Silverwing was able to get through pretty well. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna have any trouble. You might not be able to do dire form while you're down here, unless you were in one of the glass cages
Okay.
or breaking through into one. Okay. So they are sort of standing off with you. Hollis was the first down, but then the Silverwing steps down the last couple of steps. And so Hollis and the Silverwing are at the bottom of the stairs, and the scientists are holding their batons out at the most extreme distance they can get them from themselves. And they immediately start backing away.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's
Shall
just
I
like,
just
don't want to do
tell them
this.
to go?
Yes.
So I would like at least to join the two down there so that she can look those scientists in the eyes as she does it, of course.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you take a couple steps down, and you can see directly over Hollis's head to the two scientists.
Not terribly hard to see over Hollis's head. I will look at them and I will just sort of amusedly shake my head and tell them that last time we were here, I killed one of their giants all by my lonesome. And I'm wearing the fur over my shoulders right now.
Right, you
So-
are.
I shall make it very clear to them that they do not stand a threat. I mean, we could do away with them with the flick of our hands. So, since we are so magnanimous, we shall grant them the opportunity to drop their batons and any keys they have on them, or they shall be executed here and now. Very, very slowly.
Right. Is that a command roll? That sure sounds like a command.
It's a command because the
Yeah.
other option isn't really an option, is it?
We're gonna say this is risky, but I'm gonna give you increased effect because of the giant pelt that you were wearing that you are not lying about its origin.
Well, surely they'll recognize it and they'll know that when they found that giant corpse last time, it was missing a patch. Right, let's see how this goes. A 5.
Okay. So what we are seeing here is one scientist immediately relieving themselves on their shoes. Um,
Goodness me.
and the other, it runs away, leaving the first completely stunned and unable to move. Like I said, the second one runs quickly, turns the first corner they can, or is going to attempt to turn the first corner they can, and go for help.
Of course they are.
However, you can resist that, and normally that would just be Elise that could resist, but because Seth and Hollis are both even closer to them, I would say that you guys are in position to do like a protect action if you'd prefer.
I tried to do a protect action to just grab him and press the scientist up against the wall. Like, you're not getting anywhere. Like a cat and a mouse kind of thing.
Yeah. That's one willpower for the protect, and then you can make a prowess resist.
Right.
See if you can resist them getting away. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna make you make that resist roll. Now that I'm thinking about it, with your current form and everything, I
If I do
don't.
badly, though, I could just smush him.
Oh yeah, that's true. And also, he does have a weapon. So okay, let's go ahead and make that
It
roll.
could hit you even if he doesn't do a very good job.
Yeah.
Exactly. Oh, I didn't do the.
Oh,
My
14
bad.
dice. Amazing.
Yeah. There we go. That's better. 5. So I can spend one more based on that.
Okay. Yep. You can describe how that happens.
Okay. So as he's turning tail, or she, trying to get out of here, I am going to reach forward with one of my wyverny arms and attempt to pin and squish him up against the side without crushing his bones.
Okay.
Just kind of press him up so we can kind of pickpocket him if need be, or do whatever else we want.
Right. All right. So when you smush his face up against the glass of one of the cages, you see the mushroom people excitedly hop down from their logs and crawl out of the holes in their little enclosure and run up to the window and just start smacking the glass with little sticks and things like that.
Aw.
Like
I love them so much.
they're just doing whatever they can to help. Um, and yeah, this one that you've got is a man. Yeah, he is completely incapacitated by your incredible size and your skill as a brawler.
All I can picture now is the mushroom people holding little acorns and just bashing on the
Oh
ground.
yeah, hurling acorns at the window.
Oh, they're so cute. I love them. So who wants to pickpocket this guy and see what kind of goods he's got?
I can probably get up between your wing and him since I'm smaller, and get in his pockets.
Okay.
Not really much of pickpocketing at this point because
No, it's just
We just
I'm taking your stuff.
Yeah.
you are confiscating his goods.
Got me
uh
Connie's.
gonna do a fortune roll on this one that's still standing.
Oh,
A bad result. Um, so I think that as the other scientist is watching you all do this, she starts fumbling in her pockets to try to give anything that she can give to you all, as well, and in the process drops her baton into the pool of urine on the ground, and
Ah,
yeah, there is a loud zapping noise, and she
ouch.
falls to the side.
How are these people scientists? Do they have doctorates? I'm concerned that they're giving PhDs to these people.
It's a really good
They're
question.
very stressed. Very stressed.
That sounds like a long-term project.
This is not the first time we've come into this exact facility and
Bas-
dealt with incompetent scientists killing themselves.
yeah, I think
They're
you're
not actually
seeing
scientists. They are just all like have doctorates in like political science. They just gave them a lab coat.
a massive flaw in the system where a group that it claims to do scientific research is constantly giving weapons of war and weapons of destruction to scientists who are not trained to use them. So yeah, I think that's kind of what I've been going for, so I'm glad that's coming through.
That's why they should be hiring private armies to do this for them.
Yeah. Sadly, all those people are all running around like chickens with their heads cut off outside.
Hmm.
Or fortunate. All right. So you have multiple copies of a low-level key card down here, and you want to just knock out the scientist here that you have pressed against the window thing.
Might need him.
Yeah, he might. I mean, if we can't get the enclosure open, I'm sure
I mean, at
he'll
least
know.
you could invade his mind and find out where all the good
Good keys are.
specimens are
Yeah.
stored.
Mhm.
Yeah, find out where everybody's located.
Could, certainly. Do a little look around in his mind and see what specimens he knows about that we don't. After all, we have not explored this place as thoroughly as we could have.
Yeah, this
And I'm
is
certain
Well,
he
yeah
knows.
this is as far as you've been down.
Well then, if you're going to hold him against the glass there, there's nothing that can really prevent me from walking up and taking a deep drag on my cigarette and exhaling directly in his face. To
unless you
see.
forget your cigarettes.
Casting style, very important.
Casting style, smoking. So that would be. I forget already what my role is. I've got too many tabs open
My
here.
guess would be focus, but
Study for mental
study.
takeover.
That makes sense. Okay. You're going the whole 9 yards, the whole mental takeover. Gotcha.
Might as well.
Yeah, I might as well.
I could just ask him, but if I invade his mind, he's going to have a harder time lying to me. All right, let's give this a little try. Would this be gather information or
It's a standard action roll.
all right? A 6.
Okay.
Mhm.
All
The
right.
dice like me today.
Good, good. That's a nice change of pace.
Mm.
Okay. So, yeah, what does this look like when you invade his mind, aside from the
Well, I imagine his eyes going mostly blank. I suppose I don't really know what it looks like inside his mind, so I couldn't tell you necessarily, darling. But my intent is to have the smoke worm its way throughout his brain and
Hmm?
see what sort of information it can glean about what specimens are around us.
Awesome. Okay. Well, his mind is an open book to Elise. What is it you want to know?
But first, I'd like to know how this mushroom container, or whatever it is, how it opens. And second, I'd like to know what else he knows of that is particularly dangerous.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um. So how it opens, if you go down the hall that he was trying to run down, and use the key card to go in through that set of double doors, you will find a low security for this area, low security, um, lockdown room, which contains access from behind each of these things, kind of like zoo exhibits. Some from behind, some from above, and you can work your way down from there and get into the mushroom. What's dangerous here? Um, there are a couple of no access doors uh, that scientists of their level are not allowed to access, and they've only heard rumors about what's there. But based on what you just told them, he has gathered that the rumors of a giant of some sort is actually a fact. Um, Apparently, there was a previous shift of workers here. They are no longer here.
Oh, I wonder what happened to them.
So the ones that survived, anyway, are no longer employed at this location. So all they had heard was rumors, and now those rumors are confirmed. And you're basically able to go back through his memory and worm your way through it and figure out that the things that he's seen that he hasn't been able to explain are evidence that there is at least one more of those giants.
Hmm. Well,
There's also a higher security area that their key cards cannot access. The easiest
I'm
way to get a
intrigued.
supervisor down here that would have access would be to use their radios that are on his.
Should we? I mean,
Yes.
we couldn't do it, but nothing could really stop us from forcing him to call someone. I mean, he's
If you
going to want to call for help anyhow.
Let's do it.
So do you want a physical take over him, or do you just want to let him go and see if he'll do it himself?
You know what? That's actually an interesting proposal. Should I physical take over him? Seems like a rather expensive thing to do just to get someone down here. Taxing, really. So, seems better just to let his mind go and then hold a gun to his head and tell him to call his supervisor.
Okay.
It's my favorite spell. Call it.
This is the ability called Karen. Let me speak to your
So you can just
manager.
Oh my god. Yes, exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I think you can definitely implant that idea in his head before you exit it.
I suppose, yes, I could do the psychic impulse. I can use that as a spell, because I do have that now.
Okay. Yeah, that might be a cheaper way of accomplishing the same thing. You could even do it as a physical action. You don't necessarily need.
It's true. I could just, again, hold a gun to his head and tell him what to do. I think I like that option.
Okay. All right. What action do you?
I feel like that's a command again.
That makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Unless there's something else that's more appropriate for threatening people with.
Let's go risky greater effect.
That's a critical.
Wow.
Wow. Awesome. Okay.
Relieves himself again.
No, this one didn't relieve
No.
themselves. The other
Yes.
one did.
This one still has a full bladder at your disposal.
Oh god.
All right. He takes a step back. His eyes unblanken, and he looks like he's completely back to normal. His normal cowardly self. Steph, are you gonna release him from your? You have him pressed against the glass, or
Yeah, I'll do the dramatic thing of letting him go so he drops on the floor.
okay? All right. Yeah. So he slides in the urine, and
His
and
shock baton's not on.
Unintentional bones.
reaches down, grabs the radio, and calls it in and says, "Clean up on floor 1, and I need a security supervisor down to." And he gives like a scientific name for the mushrooms, and then just clicks the radio off, and then your effect ends.
Right.
Goes back to normal. Oh, you get a bonus too, since you rolled a critical. Is there anything else you want to add to that?
I do, actually. I want to tell him that he's a very good boy, and that if he wants a more promising career, that he should meet me elsewhere at another time.
Okay.
Let's say near the fountain, the park, on a different day. And we can see a future for you, darling, in my service.
Nice. Yeah, let's say you don't even have to say it to him. It just gets like implanted in his mind, and when a certain stimulus hits him, it's gonna like crack open like an egg. He's just gonna know it. And then
He's going to know he needs to serve me.
Mhm.
The next time he smells piss.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Sorry. A little loud there.
Sorry about that.
All right, yeah.
Bloody Rose White Wolf says I shouldn't say good boy like that. What if I say good girl like that? Is it better?
Much better. Yeah, you can write him down as a contact.
What's his name?
Piss baby.
Piss Baby, and he is my slave.
Lucas Lucas Sturch.
Lucas
Baby.
Dirch. Right.
Sturch. The other scientist is not doing so.
That's a
but her
Are they alive?
Uh,
They might be.
her stun baton has run out of juice.
Oh, that's good.
Hopefully her bladder has as well.
Okay. You hear the sound of some doors at the end of the hall opening. It's doors behind doors, so you're not actually seeing anything, but someone's. What do you
Your
all want
boots
to do?
linoleum.
You want to prepare for an ambush, or
I can get
Yeah,
in front of everybody else because we addressed before that the silver wing skin is very tough. So if they come guns ablazing through this door, then I can take the brunt of it, and everyone else can kind of like maneuver around. At least they have
Okay.
some cover.
Yarrow goes right behind the silver wing and just crouches so her horns are pointed towards the door. Like
if
the
you
spikes in a trench, but they're horns.
if you need to army crawl under her legs, you'll do it. Yeah. All right.
Hollis just has to walk.
No, Hollis
He's
would
on it.
definitely like run into a power slide underneath. Hollis is the kind to do a flashy entrance.
Hollis doesn't need to, she's so short.
Yeah. Just flex your calf muscles, she can get under there. Okay. Do we want to do this as like a group spring? Or do we just want to let Seth handle it?
I'm
Seth and
content to
Yara?
let
Would be
Seth handle
fun.
it.
Hmm? So if it's Seth alone, I would say risky standard.
Okay.
Unless you want to go dire form, then it'd be risky superior.
Yeah, you know what? We'll pop dire form again.
Okay.
If I can fit in this hallway, I'll just do it.
And the idea
And would
would
you like me
be,
to roll for that one as well?
yeah. The idea there would be that you're gonna knock them out or just defend the group.
The
I mean, I
idea
assume
was
that
initially. You go.
I assume it's quite safe. I mean, they are just coming here as called by one of their subordinates.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Unless they've gained access to the security camera. But let's hope they came fast enough that that's not the case. That's going to depend on that we will determine based on the roll.
Based on us not knowing the state of the situation right now, I think I would like to maneuver myself in the hallway, so I'm blocking the majority of it, but I'm leaving sections open either under my legs or between my wings or something, so
Okay.
like my teammates can like poke out and like at least see what's going on, so I'm not just completely blocking visuals for everyone.
Okay.
I mean, we have telepathic bond, darling. We can see through
Yeah.
your eyes, basically, if you allow it.
All right. Okay, you can make that roll.
So what would I be re-rolling for that? Because that's not necessarily a brawl, like maybe a finesse to make the shape. Or...
Yeah, that sounds good. Finesse could work. Spring,
Okay.
brawl. Hell,
Okay.
even prowl to a degree.
Yeah, probably makes sense. Yeah, I'll get myself into positions that's maybe more like brawl.
Okay.
Can't talk. Making sure I'm hitting everything correctly this time. Partial success out of 5.
Okay. All right. You hear some unusual sounds coming from the next room. At first it's just doors opening and closing, but then you notice it's too many doors opening and closing. It's definitely more doors than you expected to hear. And then you hear another door opening, and it's again not for the door that you are expecting someone to come through. And that door closes, and then you're ready. You hear a sound of chains being dragged across the floor, and that's when you hear the door in front of you. You hear somebody swipe a card on the other side of it. It beeps 3 times, and then the doors begin to swing open. That's when you see a scientist, a security officer with a gun, and a giant on a chain.
Another one.
All 3 facing off against you.
Okay.
So, can I just shout really loud sleep and just put them all to sleep? And just pop a bunch of essence to put them all to sleep?
Yeah, very possibly. Let's deal with the 5 first. So, what is it you were trying to do to them with your prowl roll? Just be in their way completely and have the upper hand when they come through? That Seth, like a setup action?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Well, in that case, yeah, they don't have a chance to respond to any of you before the next action goes off. So if we want that to be power word sleep.
Yeah, I just yell real quick, plug your ears. Seth. Oh wait, actually, well, I wonder if I can do a combo in alacrity, some like cotton into Seth's ears real quick, like a speedster. It's like quick earplugs, and then
Aw.
Well,
and then come back.
because you guys all have telepathic bond, I don't think that's going to be an issue at all. So, but yeah, that's adorable.
All right, let's see. I think that's a focus roll.
Okay. And you're doing this with some extra essence to make it more powerful?
Yeah, how many of them are there?
There are 3, a giant, a security guard, and a scientist.
I feel like 3 essence. Yeah, 1 for each seems
Okay.
like that would like pretty much do all right. All right, let's see with my 2 focus. Oh, I failed.
Oh no! Your power words, when it
They
comes to
don't work.
rolling for the power words, they tend to go extremely poorly.
Jarl has a stutter.
I'll use power word gun.
Okay. Okay, let's see how this can go. Yeah, so you saw that there were some cameras up in the corner of the room leading into this higher security area. But what you didn't see is that there are also speakers attached to those. And apparently, what someone has ingeniously wired up is when a power word is uttered, it triggers a reverb effect. And so it basically amplifies the sleep spell. And rather than hitting just the people you were targeting, it tries to nullify it and amplify it at the same time. It does not handle it well, and it ends up trying to affect everyone. So everyone, including Yarrow, is going to need to make a insight. An insight saving throw. A insight R word. What's that?
Resist.
Resistance. That's the one.
I have
Oh,
a
and mine was
question.
not good at all. I am very bad at this. Although I got a 3, 2, 1.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay.
I
Mine's
got
in
some
my
back with the
enigmatic
fey fruit,
form
so
when
I'm
I
okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. Police got it.
Morningstar, yeah, Elise has it.
If I use enigmatic form in an attempt to slash at it when I start hearing it make noise, is that a potential option? Or is this because it's Yarrow's action? I can't do this.
Just enigmatic form into a creature that does not have ears.
That's what I was thinking, yeah. Yeah,
A sea slug or something.
yeah, that
Yeah, I'm
might
like,
be your
what the
best
hell
bet, because
is-
this is just a resistance. And since, yeah, you didn't initiate it, although we could do it as a, like, protect. But since everybody else has already rolled, let's, yeah, do you want to use enigmatic form to, usually it's, enigmatic form is purely defensive.
Okay. Then in that case, I will do that. And what's someone that doesn't have ears?
I was like, what?
Rabbit. No, wait, that's the opposite.
That's all ears.
Sea cucumber.
Fish.
Oh my god.
Fish have no
Just like
ears.
a fish flapping around.
It only needs to happen for like a split second, and then you can just revert back to whatever other
Okay,
form.
yeah. Then I'll just revert back to like default octopus.
Yes.
Nice. All right. Okay. In that case, yeah, you just spend 1 essence, and you won't have to make a roll.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
Elise, how does that look? You got a 6. you're able to resist it without any willpower expend.
I suppose Elise had the good sense to put a little bit of something in her ears the moment that Yarrow started using a power word, given her track record.
Yeah, true. Okay, and Yarrow and Hollis were hit with the full force of it. So what does that look like, or how do you resist with great difficulty?
Yeah, with
Yeah.
great difficulty. Yarrow literally starts plucking out the little furs on her shoulders and starts like trying to ferociously shove it in her ears, and she ends up like scratching her ears up pretty bad in the process.
Oh no.
She's like, ah, get it to stop. At this point, she's most unstable.
So I would say that Hollis treats this as one of her near-death experiences and feels like, she's falling asleep. And but she realizes that it is not near-death experience, so since she's been able to come back from a near-death experience so many times, she can kind of force herself back awake.
Okay, yeah, it's incredibly difficult, but yeah, you've done much more difficult things before, so
Wasn't
nice.
actually dying, so.
Yeah. All right. And the other three, um, because they didn't get the effect coming back through the speakers the same way you all did, have an easier time. The scientist does fall asleep, but he effectively makes himself an obstacle for the other two to step over. The guard with the gun takes a tactical defensive position on the ground, or on one knee, and aims his weapon toward the group of you. And the giant, um, seizing the opportunity with the scientist passed out on the ground, wrenches the chains out of the scientist's arms. Leave it there.
Yarrow just screams, "You're free now! Run away!"
Giants of the world, unite. You have nothing to lose but your chains. Spectre is haunting Manhattan.
So do I
go
need to
from
turn Siphon Life on before I get hit, or
No.
can I do it as I'm being hit? Okay.
It's an action that you take after you've taken damage. Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
You want to try to be the target for his attack?
Yeah.
Oh no, I want to be the target so I can reflect it back on.
No, I want to get beat up, but it's my turn.
I was just you can go for the giant. I'll go for the guy with the gun.
I mean, I've taken out a giant already once, so.
I've never been shot before, so that's exciting.
I've been shot a couple times.
See, it's a trade.
Fine.
Okay. As the two of you are sort of going back and forth
About
with
who
each
gets
other,
to kill who.
yeah, in your mental
Can I
link.
roll command for that as an intimidate to
Yeah. And you hear the safety on the guard's gun flick off, and right then the two of you like zero in on the guard, like, okay, one of us has to do something, and the next thing you hear is bones snapping as the giant threw his chains around that guard, around the neck, and is proceeding to choke him out and break his neck with his chains. And his
and all you can hear the security guard say is harder, daddy.
with his last breath, harder. Yeah.
Too hard,
And
too hard.
he would collapse to the ground, but the giant is just standing there with one hand holding the chain. And so the guard is just limply hanging there. And the scientist is now crawling across the floor toward you, away from the giant, and literally reaches up and has a key card in his hand.
Well, we could just take the key card, say good boy to this one, and just leave the giant to have his fun. Sounds like a good plan to me.
So he's crawling on all fours and he's just weaving between all of you and trying to get out. Um, and the giant looks like he's having fun. But hey, we got a
What a ball.
spammer. Thank you for that. Thank you for the spam.
I do want to become famous there.
Yeah.
PHAMOUS.
At my recent TikTok, I did a ball and it said, "You will be internet famous very soon."
There you go, darling.
That's
Specifically, internet famous.
yeah. Let's leave that to the others. So, yeah. So the giant is now toying with the guard. The guard's gun falls out of his hands and hits the ground. It's definitely not the kind of thing that you all could use reliably, but might come in useful pinch. Definitely got some electronics on it.
Can the giant speak? Can it be reasoned with?
Judging from the grunting noises that you've heard so far, there's no inclination that it has speech capabilities, but you've been surprised before.
You can borrow my hood again, Hollis, if you want to try to talk to him.
I would like to try because it'd be cool to have a giant
We've got 2 trolls,
and a giant.
a dove children, and a giant. And a
Hollis.
The best
spoon
babysitter.
fae.
Hollis, the smallest PC, always collects the biggest NPC friends.
I like people to lift me up so I can get
Hmm.
things off the top shelf.
Yeah.
Yarrow
One-
can craft a fun little harness up there with a seat.
One tall boy per important room in the Coven's.
Now I'm just imagining Hollis as like a mech driver on all these like large NPCs.
Oh, everybody should watch Everything Everywhere All at Once.
It's so wonderful.
It's so good, yeah.
Okay. Well, with that call on you, you're able to, if you want to make some kind of roll.
I guess a consort
Okay.
would probably be the best thing.
Gonna try to learn its language to and communicate with it effectively and speak to it in a friendly way.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I'm gonna hope I get really. Can I take a Fey bargain?
Yeah, you can. Let me one up. Okay. Lateral
Little
damage
mushroom guys are gonna make you do something.
That is free. Okay.
My God. They're going to make you listen to them sing the Oompa Loompa songs.
Aw, I listen to them sing anything.
I just want to know if they have little instruments made out of like twigs and leaves and things too.
Oh.
Yeah, let's say an attempt at communication is going to take a little bit of time. And we're going to add a tick to helicopter's return.
Ooh.
Okay.
I forgot about this.
You guys have been rolling so well, I haven't had a chance to tick any of those clocks.
We've just been so efficient in our invasion.
You did know exactly what you were doing when you came here.
And what we didn't know, we held people at gunpoint until we figured it out. That's initiative.
Alright, yeah, you can make that roll. That consort.
Okay.
I'm gonna say he's it's risky, standard effect.
Oh, I got a 5.
Okay.
That's not too bad. I was
No, that's
scared.
not bad at all.
I was gonna get smashed.
So yeah, what does that look like?
um. So I guess I'll walk up, not quite within arm's reach, but as close as I can be, and yeah, try to commiserate with him about his situation and be friendly and try to convince him to help us out.
Okay.
Read him some
And we'll
more
help him out
literature.
of the building, like we've
Okay.
done with other things in the past. So we have a good track record.
Okay.
Is we're just here to free them.
So
Don't pay any attention to the furs I'm wearing.
So as you're talking to him, he continuously makes these moaning and groaning noises, and even with the call on, it's not translating into any language. It sounds like pain and like suffering. But he kind of leans toward you and starts scratching at the like tattered clothing that they sort of have on him.
Oh, he's
And
upset because he's not dressed well. I understand completely. I'd be upset as well. Shall we get him some new clothing?
So he had chains on, right? Are they like hurting him?
the chain is around his neck and attached to his arms, but his arms have a decent amount of
Yeah.
like give to them. And
Is it like
then
a silver burning kind of thing on them?
no,
Do you
it
know?
isn't. This time, unlike some of the ones you've dealt with before.
I guess I'll take a peek down his shirt and see if there's something in there that might be hurting him.
Okay.
Does he got
Um,
thorns in his toes? You know.
no, he has another face, in his shirt. It is malformed and twisted. The mouth barely opens, but you can hear it trying to whisper something. And he's got one very swollen eye. One very swollen eye. And yeah, it just flooding itself with tears.
Okay, I'll try to get really close so I can hear what it's saying. What?
Kill me.
Oh.
And the giant looks down at you and frowns, and moans again, and then takes the remainder of the chain and starts wrapping it around his head.
Okay, wait. Could you break this glass first?
Well, we have the trick to get in, darling. We have all the cards we need. Don't need to
I
break.
know. Break it would be fun though.
Well, you know.
If you're
Especially
going
if the
for
scientist is still in the end, just like, what?
if you're going for speed, having this thing break the glass might be the fastest way to get them out, rather than having to go through some additional doors and stuff like that. But going the other way, you might be able to get more things uh, uh, rescued. So they definitely have, they each have their benefits.
Why does it want to die?
Well, because it's in horrible pain, because it's mutated.
Like, did they stick something else onto it that we could try to get out?
It definitely looks
Or
like an unholy abomination of something fey and something human.
Sounds likely to me that somebody thought they could graft themselves into a greater being decided to
Ooh,
play some games
speaking
and
of that,
lost.
you recognize the voice. It takes a minute, but it's one of the scientists that you met down here before that didn't get killed.
But was
Oh
still
no.
incompetent.
Yeah,
Was
it's one
this
of
on
the
purpose or was this an accident?
it's one of the incompetent scientists. It looks like this might have been their punishment,
Hmm. My, that's
replacing the
extreme.
old giant.
Huh. What do we do?
Well, it has to be killed, so can I just power word destroy it? Should we test the waters?
You put
Well,
your hands around just the mutated face.
Yeah. Like whispered in his ear.
Teeny tiny destroy.
I wonder
Aneurysm.
if
Are
it's
they two
possible.
separate minds?
That's a good question. That's something
Hmm.
Elise might be able to figure out.
Yes. I would like to have a little see what I can figure out.
Okay.
See how many mines you can airdrop to.
I don't I don't know that that necessarily calls for
We'll call
a
that an astral vibe check, but
yes,
we
that's what I
won't
was
call for a
thinking.
roll. Yeah, there are two minds, one Fey and one human. It's exactly like you advised.
This is some Full Metal Alchemist bullshit, and I do not approve.
I can think of a solution, or at least an attempted solution, but it would involve calling the Red Watch in on us. With a bit of astral magic, I may be able to separate the souls.
Hmm.
Can
Pull
it
the
be
scientist
convinced?
out and dispose of it. Keep the giant alive.
Yeah, take the scientist out of his body, and then he just has like a really weird body mod.
Yeah, can we convince it not to kill itself with these chains and be helpful for a little while so that we can help him?
Yeah, I think he'll pause at
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we can figure out something with my dispel enchantment too,
Yeah,
and use that as like a reversal.
we can teamwork this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so speaking of that, Yara, do you want to do your grimoire sense and see if there's any magical resonance on
Oh,
this?
that would be useful intel. So
Yeah.
yes, indeed, I would. I figured I would probably focus in for that one.
Yeah,
Just
no need to roll.
okay.
We're in general circumstances, I'm not gonna call for rolls on grimoire senses anymore. I think it makes sense that it's something that you kind of innately know. So you just all you have to do is ask the question. But yeah, there is no magical resonance on them. This is not a magical graft.
The science experiment.
An actual Frankenstein graph type deal. Ugh.
More like a human centipede.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Velocipede.
Dude, I want to put this guy through an X-ray machine so
Yeah.
bad.
We can't operate an X-ray machine.
Mm.
I feel like a tandem wild magic between like Elise and Seth could have the possibility of mentally and
Ooh,
physically detangling the two of them. Um,
that could be cool.
but that
We
would be
could.
very, very unstable.
Mhm.
And risky to do when we're in a place where the Red Watch can corner us so readily.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do this as like a long-term project. Separate the
Y'all
giant
put him to
scientist.
sleep right now, and then we come back and get him later. It's like, sit here, in timeout, have a nice nap. We'll be back for you.
Oh, maybe Yara can try that power word sleep again.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Maybe just put his tummy person to sleep.
Yeah. It's like a little anesthetic kind of.
Well, yeah, now that you know there's two separate people here, maybe your spell could work better.
Oh, yes, it just wasn't accounting for all the minds needed to be put to sleep.
Like I literally do a whole whisper sleep.
Okay.
Just cup right around the face. It's like I'm kind of grossed out too, so I just like sleep. It's like a questionable sleep with a
Yeah.
question mark.
One essence roll.
One essence, and I think that would be a focus roll because I would have to focus to only do in a very focused area as well. So two partial success finally. A
Oh,
power
awesome.
four.
Okay. Once you have the head in the middle of his stomach asleep, um, the giant stops moaning to quite the same degree, is sort of able to get out a little bit of language that Hollis can understand. It's definitely Fey in origin, but he tells you that the pain is subsiding, and that
I'm
he'll
gonna tell him we're gonna try to get that out. So don't kill yourself just yet. We're gonna figure this out.
he'll do as you ask. And the only negative we'll have from that is that it's going to take some time. We're going to tick clock for the
Helicopters.
The
yeah.
order
Or the ritual.
ritual.
Yeah, let's tick the ritual up one. So they're both even. Be at 1 out of 12.
Yeah. Okay, let's get these mushroom people out.
Okay.
And maybe
Previously
just
unsaid sentences.
does the giant know what else is in there?
But the
Like
giant
any
was one of the
secret
things we were
smarts?
looking for.
Yeah.
He has too much difficulty speaking to be able to get a whole lot of useful information out, and it looks like his consciousness is kind of split between the two. So with the other head asleep, he's kind of drowsy and having a slurring his
Okay.
speech and
But we
things
don't
like
need to
that.
ask the giant. There's a supervisor right here,
Oh, the
crawling
one
around on the
that's
ground.
yeah, the one
Oh
that
yeah, I forgot about them.
was climbing between all of your legs. Yeah, as you turn around, he is just slipping around a corner away from you, but he shouldn't be too hard to catch up to.
Yeah, can I use alacrity and just like all of a sudden appear in front of him and just like, hey,
Yep.
and
Yep,
just
one essence and boom, that happens exactly as you want.
popped in essence.
Yeah, you just appear completely in front of him and stop him.
It's like, hey, where you going, buddy?
You also notice as you are stopping in front of him, before you've even appeared, because you basically time is slower for you, you see the powered up wand in his hand. So if you want to do something about that,
And I use my telekinesis and like fling it away before I show up,
yeah, sure, absolutely.
which I think is a focus roll plus an
Yeah.
essence.
Yeah,
I'm focus rolling away this time.
I'm gonna give you increased effect because he can't possibly know that's coming.
Hey, a partial success.
Okay.
Queen of partials. There we go.
All right. Um, the stun baton hits the wall with such force that it breaks. Um, yep, you are able to stop him from escaping.
Well, I almost thought it would drop into a pool of piss and electrocute him. But Yeah, y'all just does a flick. Man, her little hooves are fast now. I tell you. Fast ones.
Keep up. Are the rest of you going into the back areas, the maintenance tunnels that lead to the
The doors.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. I want to. I just don't know. Do I have to shift into something else at this point? I don't know if I can fit.
Are you still an
I think you were
octopus
an
Actually,
or a
octopus
fish?
last.
Did we address whether I was back or not? I know we said that I could blip. So,
Yeah, it costs you nothing, so whatever you want to be
I'll just
your
blip
choice.
into normal form at this rate.
Okay.
An octopus is probably gonna slow everybody down.
All right. So as the three of you are going through those back halls, Yarrow, do you want to try to get some information out of this scientist?
Yeah, I don't know how intimidating or anything I am, but
I mean, what you just did in front of him.
I just scared anyway. Just yeah, I'm so brute and just reckless and unstable anyway. I'm just like, hey, what do you know? And I'm just like pestering until like literally he just like tells me. I just start poking him randomly.
Okay. I think command makes sense.
Yay. Well, that's gonna be really fun because that's gonna be a 0 die command. And I'm willing to like just roll with that.
Sounded almost like a consort to me.
Oh, it would have been the same for consort as well. So, it failed. I got 2 3s with fail.
Okay. So he starts jabbering, just talking and talking and talking, and he basically starts from like, I met DRG back when I was just out of college, and they came to me and they poached me away from this Ivy League school. I was gonna have this great job with Shop Hub. I was never gonna have to work, I wasn't gonna have to do any of this stuff. And yeah, he just like goes and
But
tells you his entire life story, and
can
you
I just
literally can't get a word in edgewise.
pop an essence and put him to sleep and just take him to Elise because I can't.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so yep, you power word sleep him, and he collapses into your arms.
As soon as he starts talking about his frat that he pledged, like, yeah, I was like, nope, okay, we're done.
Yeah.
We're good.
No, I just basically he's over my shoulder now. I'm fireman. I'm just gonna fireman carry him around.
All right. Okay, you guys make it to the back door that has that scientific name of the mushroom creatures on it, and it has like their feeding schedule and care tips and all kinds of stuff like that on the door in a laminated plastic sheet with Velcro on
I
the back
take
of it.
that.
Yeah, you just
Yeah, I'll
Probably
take that.
useful resource.
tear it right
Yeah.
off. All right.
Awesome. You stole the sheep. What do they eat? Do they eat puppies? Do they eat something silly? We need to know.
Human babies.
They rapidly decay things, so you can give
So
them
yes, human babies.
you could give them pretty much anything.
Nice.
All right.
Okay.
That's how we'll. Oh no, never mind. I was going to say that's how we can get rid of bodies, but Hollis needs the bodies anyhow.
Needs those bodies.
We'll make compost.
All right. You ready to open the door?
Yeah.
All right. You hear the letter E on the other side of the door. Just E. As you open the door,
What, like the
you
meme with Markiplier's face, just E.
you are
Photoshopped.
instantly swarmed by mushrooms. They crawl all up and down you, roosting on your shoulders, and anywhere else they can find a stable perch.
So
Um,
how big are they? They're like
they
tiny then.
they range from about 3 inches tall to there are some that are about 3.5 feet tall. So it's the smallest ones that climb on you first.
This is so weird.
I'm
Things
just
tinier
picturing
than
one on
me.
either. Yarrow's got one on like either one right now, just like swinging like monkey bars.
Yeah, I was like,
I still
That's
have
great.
that the cowl on. Can I understand what they're saying?
They're saying
Yeah.
E.
They're just saying E. Okay.
No, they are exclaiming in excitement and yeah, running all over you, eating any little bit of stuff that's on you that could cause you any potential harm, things like that. And as they pass over you, they work their way over to anyone else that is willing to have them.
oh,
And
it's like the little fishies, but they're mushrooms.
Oh, like when shrimp like pick at your feet at like the spa or whatever the fancy
Yeah.
places.
the biggest of them reaches over and grabs Hollis's with its little mycelium hand.
How squishy is it?
It's got a bit of squish to it.
Oh,
It's like semi-firm tofu.
Ooh.
And it reaches into your palm and merges with your telepathic bond network as well.
God, now we've got
And
a
now,
million mushrooms in here, in the neural network.
did we just give ourselves cordyceps?
well, does this mean we can just have little spies everywhere?
No, this means that our minds are just
Ooh.
filled with the constant screaming of E. Even Jack's going to lose his mind.
Well, we'll teach them how to sing with the E's.
Do you want to resist
This episode of Nightsky Sanctum brought to you by the letter E.
Do you want to resist that for now, or do you want to let them?
No.
I think it sounds like chaos, and
Okay.
chaos
I feel
is
like
fun.
this is exactly what Hollis wants. Like, will
Yes.
this kill me?
Yeah.
To
Well,
become
I
one
want
with
to
the
be able to
mushrooms.
communicate with them. Like, I want them to go to Central Park and eat all these ritual supplies so that there's just no way anybody could do a ritual there.
okay. Well,
And Yarrow, who's just on the quest for friends, is like, more friends, who's just stuck with me.
You know what? Let's make sure that all of Central Park is taken over by mushrooms.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
That's so much better.
Have them eat all the plant life, all the animals, all the people, just
everything.
mushrooms.
They look like the little Kodamas, but they have mushroom hats.
Yeah.
I officially want Central Park to be run by these mushroom guys
Yeah.
and the red caps.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just theirs now.
Well, make sure that you're in our Discord. The link is on the screen, tinyurl.com/balsamic games Discord. There will be pictures incoming
Oh,
for
yeah.
you of these mushroom guys. I have every creature in this. I have a picture. Okay.
Even the horrifying amalgamation of the giant and scientist. Oh.
You recognize very quickly that they speak with one voice, as you kind of would expect a colony of to do.
Yeah. So it's not too bad.
No, not that bad. And as soon as they sort of tap into your collective consciousness, they immediately have the information that you wanted them to have. And they start making a beeline out to the exit to put your plan into action.
Yarrow just starts jumping up and down. Oh, so cute!
These are the best guys.
So let's do a 2-die fortune roll for them to see how well they interact with the species of mushroom that you have there. It's gonna be Alice.
Oh no, I'm scared now. I'm gonna kill my mushroom babies. I lost my mouse. There it is. 2 dice?
2 dice.
Okay.
Hey, that's not too bad. All right. So it looks like they're going to It might take a minute for them to get on the same wavelength, but I think they're not going to have too much difficulty.
Okay, cool.
So we'll deal with that after the session downtime. We'll figure out exactly how that is working out.
They also have to meet Bumble, so
Make sure they get along.
I
Okay.
can't
Or
imagine
just
anybody not getting along with Bumble.
they
I
could
need
just eat
fan art
Bumble.
now of Bumble just completely covered in these guys. He's so sweet, just like the unintentional babysitter.
He's like,
Oh
yeah,
gosh. Just
tree
looking
beard.
exasperated.
Tree beard,
He's like,
except
I guess
instead
I'm
of
a foster dad now.
instead of being covered in hobbits, he's covered in
Mushroom.
Mushrooms.
mushroom.
Which I suppose is quite rational for a tree.
That's true. True.
Yeah.
Right. So looks like you've accomplished what you came here for. There are definitely some higher security areas that you could move into from here. But your clocks are not terribly filled, so you still wanted to take action in another direction. It would still be a good time for that.
Well, we
We
could
could
keep
do-
rampaging here, or we could rampage at the Order headquarters. For just a moment.
I vote for max chaos at the Order headquarters.
Yeah, they'll probably be sending people down here, so
Yeah, that's even
Probably.
more people out of the castle.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's go. Let's go quick before they get here.
We'll embarrass them so badly.
Hollis can ride on my back and or on my horns, and we could just like an alacrity, at least me and Hollis, because Hollis is so small.
Okay. So yeah, we could end that undertaking
And
and
start another.
yeah. So the next thing to determine would be the type of undertaking, the method, and the detail. Again.
More salt, please.
Assault.
Just
Assault
sounds
and
like you're
peppery.
asking to pass the salt.
Pass the assault.
Don't even specifically know what we're doing in there, but we can certainly make fool out of them. I would like to find the office of that officer that I
Hmm.
had such a unpleasant experience with.
Yeah.
And then we can arson it.
Yeah.
I was actually planning on just leaving him a very polite note. Because what could be more terrifying than knowing that the person you threatened had no issue waltzing into your room and just left a little note? Slowly pick away at his mind until it falls apart.
Not that you can't do
Elise
that
is
quickly.
totally the
if you-
person to.
I'll gaslight him. I'm going to gaslight him. I'm always girl bossing. I'm usually gatekeeping.
Yeah.
Now it's time for gaslighting.
That does sound fun. So I guess maybe a stealth.
Well, we could also just walk in there. None of us are very stealthy.
No.
But between all of you and Elise's master planner ability, you could probably still manage a pretty good prowl roll between every.
We could potentially. Well, what are the votes? Shall we go in loud or shall we go in quiet?
Keep in mind, it is the Order. It's the most powerful organization, the most
That's
powerful
true.
faction.
What if we
Please
pretend?
we go the other way.
What was that?
Oh, what were you gonna say? Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, what if we pretend to be informants for the guy, and we say that we need to go to his office to leave him some information, And that's how we leave him his scary note.
Oh, scary note. I was planning on leaving a very pleasant note thanking him for the dance.
It's the effect
That's
is
still
still
scary.
And we have all these passes of these scientist guys, so I could shapeshift and probably get in.
Yeah. So maybe Hollis will definitely stay outside because she's so obviously not informant.
Unless I just like make Seth really short and we do like the two like kids in a trench coat thing. Just like two tiny people in a lab coat.
Take the giant's trench coat.
I could be arson backup just in case you guys need a distraction to get out.
Well, we haven't used fire yet,
I
so
know.
it does need to happen at some point.
Yeah, if there were a person that could go in and pretend to be like they're supposed to be there, Elise is definitely in the best position for that. Seth
Well,
would be second best because of
well, we could do
Mhm.
it together. Probably more effective that way. I show up with someone in a lab coat.
With DRG badges.
and Azaelwyn could potentially alacrity from place to
Yeah, just I'll whip around so fast nobody even sees me.
yep. And Hollis can go completely invisible by stepping partially into the underworld. So then you have potentially a stealth mission, or not even necessarily stealth, but stealth on one side and
Deception on the other.
yeah, deception.
Two-pronged attack.
Yeah.
For the follow Copper Dragon. All right, so does that sound like two separate engagement roles?
Sure.
I think so.
Sounds appropriate.
All right, so deception. One for sheer luck. -1 because they are higher tier than you. +1 because they would not. This isn't generally a very well patrolled. Not patrolled, but like this isn't something they have to consider very much as
Yeah.
a potential area of infiltration.
Mhm.
What Seth? Who do you want to look like?
Um, I can't recall. Did we? Well, I don't want to incapacitate the security. Did we incapacitate the security guard or just the scientist?
Security guard got killed.
Oh,
And the
probably.
scientist is currently asleep from Yaro's spell.
Okay. So,
But you don't have to
uh,
impersonate somebody you can see directly. You can impersonate anybody that you've ever been in contact with.
that's
Like
true.
you could be that that guy from the party.
You
Yeah,
could.
yeah, I'll just do that, I guess.
Okay.
That's probably the best option, and then I don't have to wear a lab coat covered in piss.
Yeah, nobody wants to do that.
No.
And Elise doesn't have any like blood or anything on her right now.
No,
Might smell
I have not killed anyone today.
might smell a bit of urine, but other than that, just from
Never. I would not have gone anywhere near that pond.
proximity.
I barely even dived in the hole the first time we came here.
That's true. All right. Let us start with Seth. Do you want to make an impersonate roll?
Yeah, let me just double check. I have to check for that. Impersonation, study, +1 essence. Fuck that. Oh, it's not taking. There we go.
Based on
Okay.
that, we'll determine how many dice we're going to add to to your infiltration engagement roll.
Is it
Okay.
4?
4. So it's definitely passable. It's even better than like so like a 1 through 3 would be like it would fall apart under any real scrutiny. A 4 or 5, which is what you got, is more like it would hold up to close scrutiny, and only people who but anybody that knew that person very well would be able to see through it pretty quickly.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, we'll add a die for that. Back up to 3 dice for your engagement roll.
Ooh.
Another good engagement roll. So we'll say that you two are successfully able to bypass the reception desk at the entrance to Belvedere Castle. And I will tell you what your first obstacle is after we deal with Hollis and Yarrow. So the two of you are doing a stealth.
Yes, I'm gonna just try to alacrity in there.
What would you like to use as your detail? Is that what is the detail
Entry point.
for? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to just go in through the front door as well?
Yeah.
I think that's the only way I would really know anyway, so.
Okay. Gonna give you three dice as well.
Ooh.
Oh
Oh, it's
my
3 1
God.
even.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Um
Well, it's
I
a good
think
thing we went in separately.
yeah. I think it
Yara
Aw,
works.
really?
is not good at stealth.
I think
Well,
this
now you are an extra distraction.
I think this
Yeah.
kind of makes sense. Because although they are a non-magical organization, they do have bound witches in their employ. And so I think with having a Baba on site and everything for the stuff that's going on, as well as possibly some wards set up, possibly some that extend into the underworld slightly. Let's see. So first off, we're going to add 3 to the Baba ritual clock.
Okay.
The
Better get those mushrooms working hard.
Baba senses what you guys are doing and knows that they need to hurry up their ritual so they can get back to the castle. But so you're going to be starting in a desperate situation, and I think what this looks like is the two of you have found a dark corridor to hide down. You're away from any people. However, Hollis is sensing a number of angry spirits um, that are like pacing the hallways, and pretty much everywhere you turn, you see another angry spirit, and you kind of find that you're locked down to a certain degree, unless you were to interact with them or become visible again.
Hmm. Hmm.
Well, while you figure that out, let's take
Yeah.
a quick break, and
Okay.
we'll be
I'm
right
smashing.
back.
I need some hydration.
Yeah.
See you soon, darlings.
welcome back to Nightsky Sanctum, and thanks for the follow, Rachel Baby 1981. Probably a real life. Rochelle Baby. All right. So Hollis and Yarrow had found themselves in quite a predicament, kind of trapped in a hallway between guards in the real world and some guards in the underworld that are patrolling the hallways, while at the same time a Baba on premises had been alerted to their intrusion. Oh, while Elise and Seth made their way into the exact same building and nobody batted an eye.
It's exactly like the party all over again.
Yeah. So how are Hollis and Yarrow going to get out of...
Can I just literally brawl and run into them all? Like, again, I'm reckless and unstable. I'm just like, you know what? And just start headbutting with the horns.
With the idea being that you would be causing a major distraction?
Yes, I'm just now that I'm already kind of in a hard place, I'm like, you know what? Hit rock, hard place, me, headbutt.
Okay. Hollis, do you want to
Making them
pop
come
out of
down like bowling pins.
Yeah.
the spirit world and join Yarrow, or do you want to try a different tactic?
No, yeah, I was thinking I would pop out and use fearsome omens behind them, so I can concentrate on anyone who seeks to harm you or your domain perceives disturbing sights, smells around you. So yeah, I could just be really scary and weird smelling and
Yeah, I think as long as you are sort of showing that you and her are on the same side,
yeah.
then yeah, I think that would absolutely apply. All right. So what action would the two of you like to use?
I think I'm just literally gonna brawl.
Brawl?
Like-
Hollis, you good with brawling as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll
All
bite somebody.
yeah.
right. Hollis don't give a damn. She'll bite somebody.
I'll bite your ankles.
And I'm definitely gonna spend 2 willpower for an extra dice.
Okay.
So we're doing a group one?
Yeah, who wants to lead?
I'll lead it because I have plenty of willpower.
Okay.
Okay.
I finally
Woo!
got
Oh my god.
Oh
Oh, wow. Anya
Woo!
did it
Holy
again
cow.
with another triple one.
That's
Okay.
Was that a group action, though?
Yeah, but it was a group action, so the
Yeah.
result was a 6. You do it.
Perfect.
So I think what that means is that that Hollis is has fearsome omens going, and you pop out from the hallway and you're facing the wrong direction. And you do proceed to frighten a large group of tourists who are touring Belvedere Castle.
Just picturing their visors and their fanny packs.
Well, maybe that's
Mhm.
all
Hawaiian shirts that they've worn for some reason to Manhattan.
Yeah.
And I think one of them snaps a picture of you. And so we're
Oh.
gonna add a fate to the coven.
Okay.
And but then Yarrow jumps out facing the other way and rushes down toward one of the guards and catches him off guard. And what do you want to describe what you do to him?
Yeah, she had like scraped a hoof to get started, like revving her engine, and then just literally ran so hard at the guard, and the horns caught in like the belt loop, and now he's just like hanging from her horns, just
Nice.
like
Running with him,
yeah. Now he's just stuck.
dragging his face on the ground.
Yeah, now he's stuck.
All right. Uh, and then you rush into another area, and you can see that there are like you know, receptionists and tour guides and things like that in this next area, and no more guards. And Yeah, you skid to a halt and look around for your next.
It's like, oh, don't mind him. He's just hanging out.
Hollis, you see her rush off in the other direction. You're like, crap. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna turn around and chase after them
Okay. All right.
with my scary, half melted skeleton face on.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I was gonna ask what that looks like. That's great. All right. You guys hear Elise and Seth. You hear a commotion coming from behind you, and you see a couple of guards rush out from a side hallway. They kind of turn toward you, give you a glance, note who you are and that you're safe, and they continue down toward the direction of the commotion. And now you have a
Elise just
couple of
gives Seth the side eye, like, I think we know where they're going.
Just like, well, we do know where they're going because we have telepathic bond and we know that they've
Yeah,
buggered
that's
things
true.
up.
So
Assuming they're not keeping that from us.
No.
Nah.
no, when they screw things up, they let everybody know.
At least for the ha-has.
um,
Totally
you-
did it on purpose.
hey,
Yes.
it's working regardless. So you guys have Elise and Seth have a couple of hallways that are clear right now, and you don't know your way around Belvedere Castle all that well, unless you took a flashback action or something to get some information about where you're going. Peek around yourself.
You didn't do any astral stuff or anything with him while you were dancing, right? It was just dancing.
No, it was just dancing, darling. It was very innocent.
Yeah, because that's absolutely fertile ground for a flashback.
Well, I'm not certain what we would flash back to, except perhaps collecting a map that they're potentially giving out to tourists, but I doubt those maps show us anything we actually care about.
Oh, I meant if you wanted to go back to that dance and have read
Oh,
his mind or got sort of an astral fingerprint for him.
that could be interesting. An astral fingerprint. I do like that. Well, at any rate, we did find he did have a red stone with him.
He did, yeah.
Oh,
Although
we
I
don't have our
imagine there's
patron for find objects now.
I imagine there's several within this building. So yes, I think actually it is quite likely that she would have got that. So I think a flashback for that would make quite a bit of sense.
Okay. What ability do you want?
Ability would make sense there. Would that be probably not the grimoire sense? That would be
I'd say your grimoire sense could give you a little bit of information. Your psychic impulse could give you a decent amount of information. And doing, like, having done a mental takeover, obviously, would give you complete access.
indeed, but that would be hard to disguise.
You don't go limp on that one, do you? That's physical.
Mental takeover, yeah, physical is limp. Mental takeover, usually, I suppose it doesn't necessarily have to dramatically impact the target as long as it doesn't go poorly.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, mental takeover makes sense then. Yes, I shall attempt to do a flashback mental takeover.
Another option you could do is you could just simply pickpocket something off of him and have Seth do a psychometry.
Yeah.
So you got a million different directions. You
Ooh.
have such cool powers that
I do like that, actually. I do like the idea of pickpocketing him during a dance.
yeah. All right, I
Especially
think
because if I was doing a mental takeover during a dance, you'd think for a moment or two he would probably be stepping on my feet.
that's yeah, that would make sense. Okay, one willpower, and what do you think? A finesse?
Finesse seems to make the most sense for pickpocketing, since it's sleight of hand and subtlety. So let's see if that went well or very poorly. I mean, I suppose it can't go incredibly poorly because we know that I didn't get thrown in jail.
Right.
Oh, it went completely successfully.
um,
The dice knew that for continuity's sake we had to have a success, so they gave us
right.
a success.
That
I
was
guess
a
this kid, you could have slipped the note in at this point.
continuity.
How am I going to thank him for a dance if I haven't actually had the dance yet?
So, let's see. I'm trying to think of what you could have got.
Well, if it's a 6, perhaps it's something he'll actually miss.
Yeah. I was thinking, that,
A pocket watch.
how about a cigarette case?
Oh,
Ooh.
smashing.
It is gold and platinum and engraved with his initial, which I don't have
Perfect.
on hand.
I believe his name was Orin? Or Orum? Oh, something.
Oh, have it near. Materials from so many others. Ah, yes. Rowan.
Rowan.
RS. Rowan Sharp.
R.S. Rowan Sharp. Well, a cigarette case. I might just have to use that.
Right. So, yeah, you guys are in an empty hallway. You produce the cigarette case.
And my psychometry is 1 loop of essence, so I'll do that. And then gather information about the emotional events in its past. I guess we can see where he's having a stressful puff during the day.
Exactly. Sounds good to me.
So we can see him. Oh, goodness. Hermes is having a fit.
Yeah.
She really is.
She's like, get him, get him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll just backtrack where we can sense he's had a very stressful smoke
Yeah.
and go that way, I guess.
Oh, God, smoke.
And that's a focus roll.
Yes, I think so.
I think it's
The
just
psychometry doesn't say it has a roll with it, but I guess that's the same kind of thing as dire form when we have to tie something onto it, right?
yeah, it's any kind of gather information. So you could do focus, you
Okay.
could do
Study.
study, yeah.
I feel like focus is probably more specific. I have more points in study, but that's not a reason to lean towards it. So I will do focus, and I will give myself 2 blips and willpower so I can get additional die.
Okay.
And it's exclamation mark number G for gather information.
Yes.
I lost my hotkeys. I had my menu up and put everything on. A 4, that's
Ooh.
not so bad.
Hey.
Hey. Okay, so that
It's been a
is
while since
good
you've had a
detail.
successful psychometry.
Yeah. So yeah, you're able to trace him back from the last time he used it, which was smoking just before he entered the party. Standing outside the door under the awning, it had started raining for just a moment, and he was standing under the awning of the doorway and talking to several of his assistants and telling them about the type of party this was and lying the entire time, not telling them anything about any of the little truces or anything that they have going on, or the fact that this is the kind of party where you make deals with people about what you'll prosecute and what you won't and things like that. He just light up a storm as he's smoking like a freight train out there, and then you trace him back further, and you find that the last time he was smoking was in his office, and the sovereign standing right next to him, chastising and telling him that because of his must go to this party, keep up appearances. As you sort of mentally follow the smoke trail, you can kind of start to smell his particular brand of cigarettes in your nose, and you're able to track backward to his office. However, you get an impending sense of doom that falls over you as your eyes within your own vision kept being drawn to the red ball on the staff that the sovereign was carrying. And it's sticking with
Am I getting any kind of mental harm or anything from it, or is it just kind of an overpowering piece of imagery?
it's strong enough that you might have to overcome you might have to make a resistance roll to go into the office
Okay.
for fear
So
that
right now, just navigating where it's
you're
fine.
fine. But you navigate your way to his door. Sure, that this is where it came from. Smell him, his essence, sort of all over it.
Stinks of the man.
Well, I guess we try the door, see if it's locked. Because I look like him. It's my office.
Mm-hmm. You reach for the door, and it is indeed locked.
Okay. We have lockbooks as our group. That's part of
We do
something
have
we have.
lockpicks.
I don't see what is it. Just normal level that we have.
There,
I
Yeah.
think we have. Is it normal?
I think it's normal.
I
We
feel
were in
like
the issue where you
someone.
came for like the
I think someone had fine lock picks, but they got reduced in quality from some failures. Lost the.
I think that was the church episode, and like we failed so miserably with it. Well, I can attempt to unlock this door unless Elise wants to give it a go.
I'm quite happy to do it myself if you'd like. I'm happy to pick a lock or two. It's not hard, certainly. I've done it many times.
Let's say standard effect, risky.
Right. Well, let's hope that I can still pick a lock after all this time. I can. It's a 6. I've gotten so many 6s today.
The dice
From
like
last session, me failing almost every roll. They were all saving up for this session.
okay. The lock picks slide in and tickle the tumblers. In mere seconds, hear the lock spring and the
love that-
door. That
Chat's just talking about kitchen appliances.
we wish we could be in chat at the same time as we're playing the game. We all have a love for.
It doesn't.
Okay. As the door is starting to swing open, we will switch back to Yarrow and Hollis. As now 2 guards have come into the area, and the other 3 not guards. The other 3
She's sleeping.
Oh, look how puffy your chest gets. Oh,
Sweet baby.
Ignore my camera for the next couple seconds. There we go. There we go. Better. Oh, look, we can have me and the baby. Perfect.
Mhm.
Just kidding. Your head's gone now.
Chicken with it. So yeah, Yarrow and Hollis, who are the two guards that have come into the room, do not seem to be carrying any weapons. Surprising to you. They see that the other guard was being dragged by your belt, and he's unconscious. So if you want to detach him,
Yeah, I basically like flip him up real quick and he kind of tumbles to the floor. I'm like, I don't know what that was. Maybe I kind of use my hoof to push him like into the shadow a little bit. Nothing to see here. It's just he just had a few too much to drink. Oh, wrong setting.
But Hollis's fearful omens are still kicking. So, what do they see? They see a satyr, who obviously just dragged one of the guards, but then they also see Gob.
Well, it's kind of hard to tell if she's a gob at this point because most of, as far as they can tell, she just has a skull and is tiny, so she could be a child for all they know,
Or some
um,
strange fae.
or some strange fae. There's also a
The
strong
only
odor.
thing worse than a god. A child.
A child. They also smell like a really strong brimstone smell that makes them sick and just like rotten flesh and brimstone, gross. Yeah.
Hey. They seem to be taking fighting stances opposite the two of you. Are about to engage you brawling.
Oh, I will brawl them.
Yeah?
If they want to brawl, I like get down and I'm like, come on, bring it.
Yarrow is ready to throw down.
Yeah, your host just pumped up on adrenaline at this point.
I'm just picturing Patrick Warburton's voice coming out of her.
How about Hollis?
So are they our coven tier or lower?
They're technically Coven Tier 5, or they're Tier
Darling, is
5,
that metagaming?
but they are currently one tier above you. Your group is Tier 2?
Yeah,
Yeah, they're Tier
technically.
3.
Okay. I mean, we have all the stuff to be tier 3, so
Yeah.
We really
I
should do
kind of feel
that.
like I'm just saying because fearsome omens causes people to flee or reconsider fighting.
Yeah. If they're your Coven Tier or lower.
Gotcha. So it just has no effect on them whatsoever.
All the lesser people would definitely not engage you. So the receptionists, the tour guides, and stuff like that, yeah, they're all getting out as quickly as they can. They're not going to assist the guards in it.
Okay.
Sounds like there might be some audio issues with all of our speech, aside from Gavin's.
Oh, really?
According to chat.
Chat's saying there's some distortion when everyone except you speaks.
Huh. You all sound great on my end.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
you're
I look great too.
Yeah, you all look great. Okay. We'll definitely some crackle. Interesting.
Incredible.
Yeah, I don't know what that would.
You know what? I have a fan on. Let me turn that off and see if that helps. It's
I
really hot
doubt
in the
that's
office.
if it's for all of us.
Yeah.
No, but maybe there's some kind of background noise just constantly on for my mic.
I don't know. I couldn't hear any fan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same here. My thing crackles a little bit, but there's no way it should come through to you guys. That is super weird.
Okay.
It's probably an OBS issue, I would assume. So okay, the two guards are facing off with Yarrow and Hollis.
Um,
Yarrow is going to brawl.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna brawl.
Okay. So group action.
Yeah, I'll lead it this time again too, just because I think I have the willpower to eat it up.
Okay.
Okay. I have 3 in brawl, so theoretically
Wow.
I
I
should be pretty
won.
good.
I won, so how about you? You can hop on my head and we can go, hey, I mean.
Yay, there we go.
All right. And you got a 5. And Zelwyn got a 4. That's not bad at all. All right.
So it was one willpower to lead it, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Electric Crackle. Interesting.
Sounds like a band name.
Yeah.
Electric Crackle. Or a new
Oh, yeah.
maybe a chocolate bar with pop rocks in it.
Or a storm witch
Ooh.
The
ability.
crackle is loud and painful. Wow.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oh.
Did that fix it? I turned off the audio and back on again. Can one?
Does that help?
Yeah, since mine seemed the worst, because
Test.
I'll say so.
Test.
Electronic. Only crackles when sound goes through. Like pop rocks. Still there.
Not really where you want pop rocks.
I wonder if it's specifically.
It's gotta be OBS. Because I can hear you guys.
Everything sounds fine through my headpiece, so
Yeah.
I'm not,
Oh,
I'm not
yes,
getting
it
any crackle
sounds-
from anyone.
It seems to get worse with higher pitched voices. Interesting.
So we all gotta be talking low and husky like lightning.
All right now.
Well, I don't think the voice is appropriate for the character I'm playing right now, but
I mean,
I
it
reckon
depends
I
how
can manage
much,
it.
like, Elise chain smokes.
Yeah, exactly.
She is meant to be a baritone.
I only have half a lung, but I'm still speaking.
She certainly has a deeper voice than most women.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what we could do. Let's try disconnecting. It's gone?
Oh, it's gone. Okay, well.
I said it's fixed.
Nice.
Well, I don't know what I did. I
Hallelujah.
just clicked on some different apps.
That's the best way to just
Suddenly
click
stopped.
buttons.
Okay.
Woo!
Okay. Well,
Wouldn't be a
yeah.
stream day without some kind of technical difficulties.
Exactly.
Honestly, that's rather mild comparatively.
Exactly.
I'm really sorry about that, everyone. Yeah, there's no way I could have heard that on our end. It's not coming through to us at all, but yeah, that's great. I'm so glad that worked. Yeah, I
Thank you
am
for
a
making us aware of it.
Yeah.
I am a computer programmer by day, so I have been told that I have the touch, so maybe even though it's Friday after 5 o'clock, so none of that stuff should be working. Okay. Let's see.
Darling, it's Friday after 5 o'clock. I don't stop being attractive.
Lucky you. Okay, so yeah, Yarrow and Hollis are facing off. You guys did a great roll. You guys both got partial successes. So yeah, these two people start attacking you with completely hand-to-hand techniques.
Mano
they-
a mano.
They seem to be well versed in some martial arts, and are trying to do like bone breaking type maneuvers on you. However, the two of you are completely able to hold your own against them, and completely defend yourself against anything they do. Yarrow, do you want to describe what some of those your blocks might look like?
Yarrow just giggles and throws out her hooves and just like goes to kick him, like literally just kicks it away. Like, what are you doing? It more looks like Brazilian Muay Thai, I guess, with all the kicks. She
Alright.
just like maybe even turns upside down on her horns and spins around with the hooves kicking people.
Okay,
This
yeah,
is the disco we talked about. It's the
Yeah.
breakdance.
We're
Alright.
breakdancing.
yeah, keeping them away from you with your hooves. Yeah.
She's just laughing at him the whole time.
All right.
hysterically.
And Hollis, what does this look like for you?
Um, she is growling and biting
Yeah.
at anything that gets anywhere near her. Because I mean, I would assume it'd be kind of difficult for them to because she is smaller,
Yeah.
to change up how they do what they're doing to hit someone smaller. So yeah, I just snap at anything that gets anywhere near my person.
Yeah. Yeah, and probably bits of flesh are falling off of you and disgusting them and keeping them at bay as well, because of your fierce moment. Yeah. So that goes on for several minutes, and it looks like they are, or not several minutes, but for about 15 or 20 seconds, and it just seems like they are at least as good at brawling as the two of you, and are able to keep all of your attacks at bay while you're doing more or less the same thing. So it's very tit for tat, and not any no one's really taking any major damage.
It's very Dragon Ball flashes in the sky. Flash.
We're gonna add one to the
Forever.
Baba clock.
Ooh, this ritual's getting spicy.
Probably close to half.
Yeah, it's only one away from half, I think.
Yep, it's 5.
Or 2, 4, yeah, 5.
So you might need to do something else besides brawling. They seem to have you kind of locked down on the brawling side.
This
Oh,
is why you should also have a gun.
yeah. Let's see. I'm wondering
Like,
if
both of you do have offensive magics.
Very
yeah, that's
I'm
what
just gonna stop defending myself and let them break as many bones as they want, and I'm going to siphon life and have them break their own bones.
okay. I would say if you aren't defending yourself during that last thing, since it was only risky, you would take level 2 harm.
Okay.
Although, actually, yeah, let's go ahead and do level 3, because I think it makes sense that if you let one of them grab a hold of your arm, they probably would have
Yeah.
broken it. So yeah,
Okay. So
level
that is
level 3 harm, broken arm.
2 essence for me to give
Try
them
to.
back their broken arm.
Yep. So yeah, you just decide what kind of action you're gonna do to give it back to it. Brawl
I
is
mean, if
kind
they
of,
do it to me, I'm just gonna stand there and watch them break their own arm.
yeah. You have to touch them afterward.
Well, if they're grabbing my arm, I am touching them.
It's a separate action.
Okay. Sure. If their arm is on me and they're trying to hurt me, I don't expect they're gonna
Yeah,
be
I guess
moving
you're
very.
right. That would make sense. They would yeah, if you're not fighting back, it would make sense that they would try to, after they grab you and break a limb, they're probably trying to get it like behind your back or something. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that would make sense that they've still got you. Yeah, that would make sense.
I mean, if you
Yeah.
want me just to do a brawl roll just so that I can have either kicked them or hit them or whatever.
I was thinking more like focus. To focus that damage back into them, to channel it back.
Okay.
Would that make sense?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, you're right, because you're right. You're absolutely touching them. Um, so you can decide what that looks like.
Trying to
Make
find
that
my
roll.
focus. There it is. I have my character sheet blown up to 250% so I can read it, so I have to scroll all over the place to find all of my
Right.
stuff. Okay.
I'm gonna say that's gonna be risky standard or desperate standard. You can get extra die.
No, I don't have any willpower, so I'm saving it for
Good
just in
luck.
case.
Smart idea.
Woo!
Hey.
Okay. Um.
That's a
So,
5. That's a success.
uh, you feel metal wrap around your wrist of your broken arm,
Mm-hmm.
and you hear it click, 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 closed. As they have slapped one of the handcuffs on you,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when your magic goes off, and you channel all that damage back through your body into the person that's holding you. You can describe how that happens and what that looks
So they have broken my arm and wrenched it behind my back, and while they are holding on to me to put the handcuffs on me, they're uh I gotta say, I guess they start feeling like a heat come through my skin and then into their hand where they're touching me, and the bone in the arm that they broke in the exact same place cracks in their own arm, and they drop the other handcuff. So I
like.
have
Yeah.
a new bracelet.
Yeah. Just dangling from your perfectly good arm. I think your arm is like out of socket, but it's not broken any longer because they do
Okay.
have it like behind your back. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but it's completely healed too, because that's part of the effect.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, he holds up his broken arm and screams out as he lets go of the other handcuff and falls to one knee. And he's like holding his arm and looking at the other guard. Um, yeah, and okay, that was the effect of that brawl roll. Okay, so you'll probably need to do something else besides brawl from here on out. Um, but there's one guard with a broken arm, and the other one is completely fine. Garo facing off against.
Okay.
Well, let's see. I think I might go ahead and try to risk another word of power.
Okay.
Putting him
um
into the room.
yeah, I literally just want to stun.
Okay.
Or put him to sleep. Yeah, well, I could put him to sleep. Well, I'll do like a one essence will sleep and I'll
Okay.
focus on that. I'm just like, okay, you know what? Just go to sleep.
All right. Um, that's a focus roll. I'm gonna
Mhm.
say that's risky and standard effect.
Oh, I had totally
Ooh.
failed on that.
Okay. So I think what that looks like is you end up you're really worried that if you just shout it out that it's going to have unintended consequences. So you try to get really close to his ear to do the power word, and when you do, he grabs a hold of your arm, and when you're struggling free of him, he uppercuts you in the jaw.
Oh my goodness. You know, I would say after a while you'd think I'd eventually get the hang of these power words. I will get there eventually.
um so he's got you by one arm, and he's going to do level 2 harm to you. Busted jaw, and you can choose to resist either of them.
I would like to resist. Yeah, definitely. Would
Which
that
one?
be a prowess resist?
It depends which one. Probably, yeah, probably prowess either way. What are you
Uh,
resisting for?
I don't want to get hit in the face first.
Okay, gotcha.
So
So
I
he
think that
can have hold of your arm.
yeah,
Okay.
I guess my arm can be there. It could just like okay, grab my arm, that's fine.
Okay.
All right, and what is my oh yeah, and that is R for resist.
Yep.
Oh
Ooh,
no.
jeez. Wow.
That
Okay.
puts me at one open willpower.
Okay. So, that reduces it from level 2 harm down to only level 1. Instead of hitting you like square under the jaw, he kind of glances off of your jaw. And his hand hits your horn, on the way up, and it just, it's like hitting a baseball bat on something metal. It just the it just kind of goes through your head, like in a really uncomfortable way. It doesn't cause you any extra damage, but it's like you just hit your head on something harder than what you're used to.
Oh no, I'm just hitting my head on everything all the time.
Yeah. Something about the angle, you're just not used to getting it from that angle. And but however, it does it did do significantly less damage. So bruised jaw could have busted, and he still has a hold of your other hand, and he looks like he's gonna so when he reaches up, he kind of he's not there yet. He's gonna try to grab a hold of your horn and bring you down onto his knee. Like knee you in the face to unconsciousness.
So can I just
You don't need
use
to resist. You can take an action.
Yeah, I'll just use greater telekinesis and focus in and just try to literally push him away, and I'm just
Okay.
gonna force push him. It's like I'm just like, I'm watching too much Star Wars. Well, let's see. I think that one is a focus roll. Oh, I put a Q in there first. My finger hit it. I'm sorry. Hey, I successfully
Ooh.
I
That's what
telekinesis some people, okay?
that's what we're looking for. All right, yeah, you can describe that.
Yeah, basically I do. I put out my hand and I just force push and I do my little horns to like just get him to bounce up and down on his way out.
Yeah.
Up the high ground, Anakin.
Yeah, he like slides away from you and then lifts off, and you like slam him against the wall and smash him to the floor.
Little
And
ragdoll time.
yeah, yeah. And he's completely unconscious by the time you let him go from the spell. All right. Hollis, there's still one near you. Um, partially incapacitated because of the pain from his arm. But it looks
I
like.
think I'm gonna help him out with that and put some ice on it.
Hmm. All right. How icy do you want to make him?
I wanna stick him to the floor.
Okay.
So I guess that like one essence to stick one person to the floor.
Yeah. Since you're not doing like his whole body or anything. I think.
Yeah. Okay. And then that'll be a focus roll.
We're just giving
I
him
gotta
some
say, the
frozen
degree of mischief in your eyes when you said that was delicious.
Yes.
Oh!
No!
My fucking
What
god.
the heck? Your
Another
dice got
triple
broken.
one.
That's impossible. 3
That's the third
Wow.
time.
triple ones? That's
Wow.
wrong. That's wrong.
Um.
That's against the law.
I call mulligan.
Spot's being racist to gobs again.
Yeah, seriously. I
Stop
got
it.
two of the 3.
Mhm.
Yeah. I rolled the
That's
other triple ones,
fucked up.
but it was for you guys. So. Okay. So. Um. You. Are reaching into the underworld. And you put your hands on the ground, and skeletal hands reach up out of the ground. And grab your hands. And they pull your hands through the ground, and they pull you down up to the elbow, and you can feel on the other side the cold of Tartarus. It's literally pulling you into the underworld. It's probably those patrolling spirits.
Okay.
Finally, when you reached into Tartarus this last time, it was enough that it alerted them. So now 2 of them are on top of you.
Okay.
So nobody else can see it. They just see you being pulled into the floor. Um, so the handcuffs and your dislocated arm go in first, and then they pull in your other arm. So They are
They're
going to...
pulling on Hollis's arm. I'm gonna actually pull it back into socket at this point.
Yeah,
Oh,
helpful.
You're
okay.
stuck in the floor, but your shoulder's fixed.
Yeah. So I think unless you resist, they are going to pull you into the underworld.
How do you fight ghosts in the underworld?
Good question. If anybody can, it's you.
I know, but like, how do you do it? Like mechanically? Like, I don't know.
You're a Baba.
To get a
You
vacuum.
vacuum. Uh-oh.
Oh yeah.
How bad are you on essence? I mean, willpower.
I have 3.
Gotcha. So, do you want to try to resist them from pulling you into the underworld, or you could try an effect, like Helm of Darkness, and try to escape from them on your own terms by being like, I'm not gonna let you pull me into your place. I'm gonna go to my place.
I mean, isn't my place the exact same place?
You're kind of between worlds rather than they're trying to
Okay.
like pull you bodily into the underworld fully. And it's to the exact place where you were summoning Tartarus ice from. So they're trying to pull you to a very cold place, much colder than where you were accessing before.
Yeah, I guess I'll try the Helm of Darkness and see if I can't get away.
Okay. What action do you want to use in the Helm of Darkness?
I guess that would be like, let's see.
I could absolutely see a number of different actions. You could focus on bringing yourself to a different location in the underworld, or you
That's what
could...
I was thinking, that I would focus on just getting to a different place.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's hope the dice bot...
If I roll 3 once again, I quit.
Yeah. Rage quit.
The amount of
dice
ones
bot.
that you've gotten this time, we need to make some kind of overlay that just puts the dice in jail.
Seriously.
Well, it
Oh,
wasn't triple ones.
it wasn't once.
Nope.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I'm gonna die. I'm just
So,
gonna die.
um,
Alice is dead.
I think at this point, yeah, you're not gonna be dead, but you are resisting. You are going to have to resist. Basically, you start to sort of you start to shift your body into another like parallel
Mm-hmm.
underworld, and they grip you so tightly they pull you sort of back into your own body, and
Okay.
continue to drag you through the floor. So at this point, you are going to have to do a prowess resist.
Prowess resist. Okay.
Ooh, nice. Okay, you're not traumatized out.
Yay.
Yeah.
That costs you 1 willpower.
1 willpower. Oh, I didn't do the resist
Okay.
part. That's what's wrong. I'm like, why didn't it tell me?
I think somebody just mentioned in chat, these are who knows how old this castle is, and how, and all the stuff that's gone on here. Like, the underworld here could be very, very different than what you're used to experience.
Yeah.
Um, so you're able to tear yourself free from the floor, and stand up and distance yourself from the underworld. But your heart is racing. All of your other spell effects that you had on yourself, like your fearsome omens and stuff, they're gone. They've just sort of flushed out of you. You've never
Okay.
felt disconnected from the underworld like you do right now.
Okay.
Well, you nearly died. Congratulations.
That's
That
true.
must have been fun.
I think as a consolation prize, they take the screaming guard with the broken arm and they drag him through the floor instead. And then you see the other guard vanish as well into the floor. These are some hungry spirits.
And flash.
All right. We will pop back to Elise and Steph, who are creaking open Rowan's door. Seth, you find a cold sweat has come over your entire body as you are mortified at what might be inside. What do
Just
you?
extra clammier than usual.
Double clam.
Okay,
All
so
the clams.
uh-oh. My Discord froze. I thought I was gonna lose everybody for a sec.
How do
Never
the two
lose
of you
me,
want to heal?
darling. You're stuck with me.
Uh-oh. Nope.
You're coming through on my end. Okay.
I think I'm disconnected. Uh-oh.
I can hear and see you still.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it froze.
Oh, there
Nope.
it goes. Now she got to say I am disconnected before she disconnected, so that's pretty cool. Oh, get ready for us to all flip-flop camera.
Yeah, way to freeze frame on a nicely artful placing of the hand, though.
It is
Oh,
true, yeah.
Give me
We
one
need to
second.
make
I'm
sure.
going to make
We've got
sure
to-
that their text working. Or not.
Yeah, we've all got to make sure we do that. If we feel like we're disconnected,
Yeah,
Vogue.
just pose. Exactly.
Dark Soul says it. Well, it does make sense. We were saying that Seth is possibly frozen here outside the door, so maybe Elise is going in alone.
Potentially. I see no reason why she would be afraid to. At least doesn't generally have any fears of anything. Except for the Fae.
Yeah.
That's less a fear and more an understanding that they're not fun to play with.
So if you're just going to be leaving a note, then I don't think any rolls are needed. Want to leave the cigarette case as well?
Well, I kind of like the idea of having a cigarette case. But just to make the point, I think it's best if I leave it. Yes, if I shall go in, and I think
Megan again.
I would like to make a very clear point. So I would like to write the note there using his pen and paper, assuming he has some somewhere,
Sure.
just to make it clear that I went into his place, took my time, really just had my run of it, and I could again. And I will probably leave him the cigarette case as much as I'd like it. Could even restock it with some of my special cigarettes.
Special cigarettes.
Well,
Nice.
one of them, I think, it's a focus cigarette, which means it's probably an Israeli cigarette.
I'll give you +1 die and increase effect.
I don't actually know what I'd be rolling there. Do we
Oh,
think it
good
would be?
point. Good point. I was thinking command or
Handwriting.
sway. Just something to get your. Basically, we want to add an intention to it, and then
Mhm.
decide how we want to pass that
Alright.
intention.
I suppose a command is more appropriate than a sway, because at the end of the day, as well, despite her being friendly with him, her intention
Is not.
is to be friendly to terrify him,
Yeah. That
not
makes perfect
to
sense.
win his friendship, but rather to slowly erode his mind,
Mm-hmm.
as one does when a man mildly inconveniences them. So I suppose I shall write a very commanding letter, and I shall throw a little bit of.
Oh,
Oh dear, lost me. Lost.
no, not you.
There. So
So
I shall throw some.
you're already getting +1 die and increased effect, so I don't think we could get you any higher than that.
Oh, all right. So
Yeah.
that makes sense then. All right.
Hey,
+1
welcome
die.
back.
Increased effect. Ah, they're back.
I got to be you for a minute.
Sorry. Just
Okay.
fixing my earbuds really quick. I can't hear anyone. Sorry about that.
It looks like you're in position.
Yep.
Oh, sorry about that. Zeph's blood sugar got low and they passed out.
Oh no.
It's all right. Elise just went into the room by herself.
Hmm.
She's just writing a note after all. It's a
Woo.
partial success.
No.
Okay.
Only a mildly successful note.
I think as the partial success, you have gained yourself a rival.
Oh, perfect.
So you can add a new rival to character sheet. Rowan Sparks?
Sharp.
Sharp.
With an E?
Yep.
Perfect. A new rival. Until I completely destroy his mind, at least, and then he'll be my thrall.
Yes. Do you want to do anything else while you're in his office?
Well, I suppose it might be pertinent to see if there's any important papers. Or just something of information. Perhaps a survey? See what.
Sure. To see what might be valuable or interesting.
Or important, at least. I don't
Sure.
want to take anything just
Okay.
because, well, if something's very valuable, maybe, but I mostly just want to see what information I can glean.
Do you want to see if you can get Seth in here to assist or to do a group action, or do you want to just let Seth be lookout?
Well, Seth, are you comfortable coming in the room, or are you terrified?
I'd say after that we can pull my haunted trauma into it a little bit. So maybe I'm super paranoid, but I can come in with you. But maybe I'm like looking for cameras and paranoid. I'm hearing voices, or I think someone's in the room, or
Gotcha. So not useful in that regard.
not very useful.
That makes
I'm the
sense.
muscle, but kind of squirrely right now.
Good.
Well, I shall have a quick look around, just to see if there is anything worth noting. Although, I don't want to dawdle for too long.
Risky standard effect.
Right. My first failure of the night.
Oh, and a 1. And since it was risky, that's +1 XP.
Well, there we go.
So, Anya, you are going to get a bunch of those. Because all those were risky. Uh-oh, the
Nice.
distortion has come back.
Oh
Oh,
no!
Oh, it's my fault. I left. I came
Hopefully
back,
that
and I brought
fixes
the distortion with me.
Okay. Let's see. That was a 1, and this was risky. Let's do 2 ticks on the helicopter clock.
Yeah.
As you're spending a significant amount of time looking around, you're trying not to, but there are such interesting things all around that seem like they're probably important, but you come to a desk drawer that seems like it's the perfect place to put important documents, but it's locked, but it has such a pretty lock and such pretty filigree in the drawer, just sort of can't draw yourself away from it, and kind of everything you come to is just like, do I want to get in there?
It's just too interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting, and your attention is very divided between things. Stuff keeps getting in your way, trying to look for hidden cameras and stuff like that.
Looking
And
for fish to eat.
Going to the
um,
drawers, looking for snacks.
and that's when you hear that there are wild witches at the front desk, and they need Red Watch that. And you hear a helicopter taking off from on top of the building.
Goodness, I didn't even realize they still had helicopters here. Other wild witches beyond those two, or these two wild witches.
Well, the exiled are all wild witches.
But I meant you, darlings.
We're fine. We haven't done any wild magic yet.
Well, then I suppose we shouldn't dawdle much longer, especially since I cannot seem to find anything that holds my attention specifically, because it's all stealing my attention. But before we leave the room, I would love to ensure that Elise signs off that letter, places it on the desk with a little. She brings it to her jet black lips and kisses it, leaving a black lip print from her lipstick. Again, just to further drive the man mad.
Yeah.
And leaves his cigarette case with one of her special cigarettes in it. You know, just to make sure it's fully stocked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Take one of his and leave one of yours.
Exactly. It's only good manners.
Sounds like foreplay, but okay. Okay. As the two of you are exiting the office, you see more guards running past you. Again, they glance over at you and see nothing unusual. They tell you to get to cover. They know this is far beneath you. So you need to get to cover. They point at a set of doors that leads further into the castle.
Well, now I'm tempted. Throw it,
Friends are in
darling.
danger.
Should we get to cover? Or should we go and deal with these wild witches?
Considering our friends aren't in good shape right now, we don't want them getting stuck in this place. We can always come back. There's still going to be mischief. That we don't want them to take it captive or anything. So maybe we go and see them. Is Hollis still stuck in the floor at this point?
No, she has extricated herself.
Okay.
The hungry spirits decided to take the two guards and
Not much meat on a cup.
true.
No.
Green steaks.
Green eggs and ham.
I don't know, because I want to come down and help you guys, but at the same time, this ruse is going very well.
Yeah, I
Well,
think you guys
then
should just.
perhaps we should go and take custody of these wild witches personally.
That could
That's an
work.
option.
Right, yeah, do you
I already
want to
have one handcuff on.
do you want to stop the guards and inquire? Or command?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I guess I'd have to do it because I'm shapeshifted, but I have like nothing in command.
Well, I could.
Would I be able to get
we could
Elise to
do it
do
as
it
a-
on, like, have Elise be like my underling?
We
like,
could do it as a
after
group
farming.
action.
Yeah, okay.
I could be your assistant barking orders,
Okay. Yeah,
while
that
you
works
stay
out better.
silent and just nod your head. It's a
Just
group command.
stay stoic and fishy, what I'm good at.
Stoic and fishy.
Okay. So a group consort, I guess.
Well, I thought we could just command them, tell them to go.
Oh, yeah.
Go deal with. Go secure the rest of the castle,
I
and we
think
shall.
I think it might make more sense if instead of a group action, you did an assist.
Do that.
Because yeah, they Steph in her current form has a sort of standing with them to command them, but Elise doesn't, but you could still provide an assist probably.
All right, that works.
Okay. So I will pop 2 willpower because I have absolutely nothing
So
in
that
command.
well, I was going to give you increased effect anyway, and the assist from Elise is going to give you an extra die. So.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'll still do the willpower. Just this would be great if this worked out. So that would be my point from the willpower, my point from Elise. So that would give me 2.
Yep.
And then you said it's just going to increase effect. I don't count that in for what I'm typing, right?
Right. And you don't need
Okay.
to spend willpower. It wouldn't do you any good. You've basically maxed out the action. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll put it back down to the 1 then for the assist for Elise, and I'll change my sheet.
Okay.
So, nope, that failed.
Ooh. Okay, so that was a 0 dice roll, and then you added 1?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, on the positive side, positive side, that's just terrible. So I think when you go up and you tap one of the guards on the shoulder, he spins around and he immediately has that look of recognition. And you're communicating with him effectively. Elise steps up and kind of gives him that like glare, like, you know, you need to do this fast. And the other guard looks over at you, and because you're so focused on the first, you don't notice that he sees right through your deception. And before you know it, he has a cuff slammed on one of your arms, and he's grabbing the other guy by the shoulder and shaking him and being like, "That's not, that's not Rowan." And he's quickly trying to get the cuff on your other arm.
Okay.
So
In that case,
so first,
enigmatic form time.
oh yeah, that would work. I was gonna say you'll need to resist that, but yeah, that'll do it. What do you want to turn into?
Turn into a squid, an octopus, and start lashing at them.
But then you have to. Oh yeah, octopus I can still eat. Massive snake.
Okay.
I'm gonna go into an anaconda. So whether that means I break the handcuffs or I just have the handcuffs along one giant tube of myself. I'm gonna be heavy and just make it so they can't physically cuff me, and potentially maybe have this lead into some kind of attack action.
Okay. Yeah, I would say with going into a snake form, it still more or less meets the requirements of the what's it called, the spell that you're enigmatic form, because it is smaller, even though it's similar. But yeah, so I think you're right. The handcuff stays on you. It doesn't like bust off, but it's not. There's no way he can do anything useful with it at this point. And so
the sweet bitch.
Yeah. And so your heavy body just drops his arm downward, and he drops the handcuff out of his arm. They both look completely shocked. And
Elise looks shocked as well. He was a snake all along.
Yeah, in that case, I think they're gonna only go after Steph. At this exact moment.
I mean, I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
That was obviously a snake that was lying about being a person.
Exactly.
I'm innocent.
Okay. So are they doing an action now, or would it be like Elise's turn, or am I responding?
Yeah, you can do anything you'd like. or at least can take an
Okay.
action.
Well, at least you
going
want to do
to-
something.
Basically look shocked for the moment until especially as if you turn into a snake, I'm going to assume you have some sort of plan.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. With a roll of 2, why don't we say they do get this,
Maybe I'm getting hurt from the handcuffs on me now, from just my sheer size.
I was
It's
thinking
crushing my ribs or something.
one of them just happens to know how to handle large snakes relatively well. And so he kind of gets behind you, straddles you, and uses the cuff to kind of pin your head down. Obviously, you'll be able to shapeshift again to get out of it at possibly at some later time. But he has it pressed against you with such force that it's like it feels like it's almost short circuiting your ability to shapeshift. And you start like coiling around his legs in an effort to like sort of pry him off of you. And Elise stumbles and takes a couple steps back and looking around and seeing if there's anything she can do. And then we skip over to Hollis and Yarrow, as now more guards have come out from 2 different directions, and they're like pincering the 2 of them in the main hall near the front entrance. And that is where we're going to stop.
Dun,
With
dun, dun.
all the guards closing in on you, middle of Belvedere Castle. Because, as Anya mentioned, it's after 11, and we don't usually play this late.
It's not after 11, it's almost 11.
Almost 11.
It being a Friday has allowed us a little bit of leeway with that, but yes,
Mhm.
we
Yeah.
should probably wrap up for the evening.
Discord
But I
popped
don't
up
want
and
to.
Freckling stopped.
Having a bloody good time, but yes, it is quite
Mhm.
late. And goodness knows I need my beauty sleep.
Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, there is plenty still to do for the next session, which will be coming up on next Tuesday, so relatively soon. That's interesting. So yeah, apparently it was a Discord issue, and it might have been related to everyone having Discord open while watching.
I mean, all my video is like high resolution now after my crash, so I don't know if I did some kind of
Awesome.
funky update or anything, but
I'm sure it
you all
wasn't
look
you.
great, but you always
Yay.
look great.
Awesome. All right. Well, we will go and handle our XP and downtime off stream. But first, let us have everyone tell every. Let's have the cast tell everyone in the audience where they can find each other. And while we do that, I'll be playing with the scenes so we can see the disco thing and the spotlight thing. So we'll start with.
Edited by our fabulous Megan. Oh, look, I'm discoed. How fabulous.
Sadly, I didn't think that the microphones wouldn't be on in that scene. So they got to see you speaking beautifully, but didn't get to hear you.
Oh, well,
Uh,
didn't miss much.
the underscore Cytherian on nearly everywhere. And join us in Discord, and we'll post all of
Yes.
Morningstar's link there as well.
Yes, if you just look up the Cytherian, you're not going to find many others. I'm one of a kind.
And now we can go to Megan and deliver the same skill plus
Yeah.
more.
But it works because they didn't hear it the first time.
Exactly.
So I'm the editor and photographer for the Morningstar content, like Morningstar said, but you did not hear. We posted today. I know a few of you came from that initial post, so thank you for dropping by. We stream usually on Tuesdays, so come and check us out. Don't have my personal links up yet. I say that every week. It's happening. It's gonna happen at some point. But yeah, if you like any of the work that we did today or in the past, just keep going to those links because we release every Friday and occasionally on Wednesdays.
And occasionally Monday, Tuesday, whatever I'm feeling.
Right. And Azelwyn?
Well, I am a Zaylin, and you can follow my crazy chaos shenanigans pretty much everywhere under Zaylin, except for TikTok's under Goddess Zaylin. But I mean, that's under Instagram, Snapchat, pretty much anything. You search it, you're gonna find me. But we're always getting up to something a little chaotic and usually artistic in a way.
Yeah, you guys have great, unique names that
Yeah.
make you both very easy to find.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Hollis. Sorry, Anya.
Yeah, I'm Hollis, Anya.
I rolled
I
ones.
am one half of the writing team at Balsamic Moon Games. And we wrote this game you've been watching today, Children of Midnight Coven. So if you like this game and you want to play it yourself, you can go download the quick start and let us know what you think about that. And if you do play a game, we would super love to hear about it and hear what you think about it and all that good stuff. Let's see. We have a YouTube channel, so if you missed this and you want to find it, you can find it on YouTube. And we have a Patreon, and our Patreon supporters get let's see, they get expansions to factions for factions from around the world, and they get access to games that either myself or Gavin will run for you, one shots that are super fun. And yeah, I think that's almost everything that I can remember right now.
Yeah. Yep. Except that her social medias are on Instagram. She is at Menagerie now.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Gavin the GM, and we together run Balsamic Games. We have a Balsamic Games Twitter handle, just at Balsamic Games. And yeah, we are very, very close to being able to run a 10 Candles game for all of our Patreon supporters that are able to join us. So once we get 2 more Patreon supporters at any tier, we will run 10 Candles. Everybody here on the cast is also.
I do look forward to that.
It's a fantastic, fun horror game that everything gets resolved in about 3 hours.
Yeah.
If the candles go out, the scene ends. There are only 10 scenes in the game. So, and if a candle goes out for any reason, the scene ends. And so we've had times we actually played it outdoors once, and the wind swept through and knocked out 2 candles. And yeah,
Do
that
that
game
again.
ended very quickly thereafter. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Seraphina Felstar mentioned that it sounds like so much fun. Sign up, we can all play together. Yeah, it's a fun little ritual of a game. It can change the way you see role playing games. That different. Um, I will not bore you with any more social media links, but do check out patreon.com/balsamic games if you are interested in us running a game for you, because we would be happy with that in any game system of choice. And thank you for joining us for this very different session on Friday, and we will see you next Tuesday. Have a great night.
Ta, darlings.